Good evening. Welcome back to the Off the Balcony podcast. Before we begin tonight, I would like to take a moment and explain some recent happenings that have taken place in this podcast. Due to a series of recent life events, Jan has decided to part ways with Off the Balcony. That decision was not made lightly. In fact, it was one of the most difficult decisions that he's ever had to make, but it was the one that was necessary for him. His exact reasons are extremely personal, and we will not tolerate any undue speculation or rumoring, and any activity like that takes place will be dealt with immediately. Your comments will be deleted, you will be banned from the channel, and do not come up to us during conventions. I want to say that we have enjoyed our time with Jan, but his decision to leave is final. And I also want to say that there has been no wrongdoing on Jan's part. This was completely his decision to leave, and we wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors. And in 5 seconds, we will return to the regularly scheduled programming. I just felt that you should hear it from my mouth rather than anyone else. Thank you very much. Good night and good luck.
We're back, baby.
It has been a long time, my friends. It has been a very long time. But I could not be happier to be back recording Off the Balcony than I am right now. It has been a wild past couple of months, let's just say that.
Been a crazy summer.
Been a crazy summer, both for our personal lives and in the world at large, considering the world is either burning or flooding, no matter wherever you go. But it really is an honor to be here, back recording again and giving you guys that good content that you have come to expect from us. So, thank you for joining us. Sorry, we're so rigid. It's been such a long time. We were talking just completely off the cuff at dinner tonight. Let's just get back to that.
We're trying, man. We're trying.
If it's need to get back in the podcasting game.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? Welcome to season 2 of Off the Balcony. We got a big show planned for you guys tonight. We are going to talk about our experiences at Anime Midwest, Anime Magic, and then we've got a killer anime roundup for you. We've seen some good shows. We've seen some bad shows, Steven, haven't we? And we've seen some stuff that, we don't really know how we feel about. But, we'll talk it through and figure out how we feel about it later on. So how does that sound for a show?
Sounds like some fun.
It does sound like some fun. And we can talk about all the golf gaffes that we have made over the summer, because boy howdy, there have been some moments on the course this year.
And talk about how I've kind of become a micro celebrity inside of a Love Live Discord now.
There you go.
There we go.
I mean, we're all building and moving and doing all sorts of stuff. But let's talk about Anime Midwest first. I want to talk about some specific moments. First of all, great convention. Absolutely had a blast, as I do, every year I go there. Convention was great. Always great to see our usual crop of people and meet new people who have come to sort of, get adopted kind of into our fold of usual con goers. So why don't we start, Anna, why don't we start with your panel? Your panel about Love Live.
Yeah, I did my Love Live panel, the Forgotten Love Live lore one, and I feel like that went pretty well. Mm-hmm. And made a new friend there.
Oh, you did? Who? Oh.
It's a girl cosplaying as Snow Halation Nozomi.
Oh, that's right. That was funny because that morning I was, sort of doing my usual con thing of day drinking. And so I had like a couple of White Russians. Except they weren't really White Russians. I tell a lie. But so I saw her come in, and I was going to get some water or something because I knew I was going to kind of be making commentary during the panel. And I asked her, hey, because Snow Elation Nozomi, if you haven't seen Snow Elation, Nozomi has a little top hat.
It's the tiny little hat just kind of sticking off the side of her head.
Yeah, which makes no sense when you think about it. But you know what? This cosplayer...
It looks adorable.
It does look adorable. I personally prefer Maki's Snow Elation look.
Maki's big hat.
Yeah, the big Snow Elation hat. And so I was walking past, as I usually do, because you've seen me, I like to talk to the audience before a panel. Yeah. And I'm walking past, get some water, and I lean, and I swing around to her and ask, hey, how's that hat treating you? And she's like, really badly, actually, because she was having to keep clipping it to her hair and everything. But Hannah, I thought you did a stellar job.
I was kind of having the same problem, but with the socks, because
right, you were Kotori.
Yeah, that cheerleader Kotori outfit, but everything on that costume fits on me well, except for the socks that came with it. The socks are too big for me.
Oh, okay.
Just kept falling down.
Just like your Megumin costume.
Yeah, which I planned to wear that sometime this summer, but I had to fix some parts of it because some parts got broken during Anime Zap.
Oh,
and I never got around to doing that.
That's right.
Oof.
So moving on, we go into the sort of the night portion. We had the Internet Weirdos panel first, right?
Yes, that was first.
I got super drunk during that, so I don't really remember that one much, so you guys are going to have to talk about it.
I had a lot of fun during that panel. I thought all of you really held the line when we were dealing with faulty tech. My first instinct was to go get our, backup television screen. I was, fucking fuming at the fact that we couldn't get, some decent working tech in that room.
You'd think for like one of the biggest Midwest anime cons they'd have some decent fucking tech, wouldn't you?
A convention that prides itself on being the biggest anime convention in the Midwest would actually put money into their equipment.
I think they just needed a whole new update. And, that can be expensive, so I kind of get it from that perspective. But in any case, it doesn't really matter because you guys held the line. We were able to get that panel back on track. And we had a great audience that night, didn't we? Everyone was there out in force to see us want to talk about these internet weirdos. And, my girlfriend basically playing DJ on the computer, clicking us through because we couldn't have the panel set up the way we normally do, where it's like, if you go to a panel, you have the computer right in the center and everyone can kind of, interact with it. The way we had... Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I'm going to take a few steps back because the panel before us went straight through our setup time, which pissed all of us off. But we had help from the Manjis.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
They fucking drove those guys.
Manji.
Yeah, and those guys were great.
For that panel, didn't we have a line outside the door for us?
We did have a line, and they were fucking pissed, just like we were, that, shit wasn't working.
Yeah.
So they were kind of with us through that adventure.
This something about this summer Archons, that's just blown me away is that we have fans.
Yeah.
We have a Midwest Con fan base.
I know. It's always great to see, and it's why we keep doing. It's why I want to run this until we're out of gas. Really, is because I love doing this. Like, kind of skipping ahead a little bit. When we went to Anime Magic, I know I kind of embarrassingly started to fall asleep during the Japanese commercials panel, but I realized, in thinking back on that, it wasn't just the fact that I was like 12 beers deep. It was the fact that I wasn't doing any late night panels, so I didn't really feel much...
Didn't feel an obligation to stay up, did you?
Yeah, and that's what I've come to learn, that I really do just go to conventions to panel. It's why I'm there. It's what I love to do. Why fake it anymore? I am just a panelist. That is what that's sort
and
of...
a connoisseur of DVDs.
And a connoisseur of DVDs.
And speaking of the Japanese commercial panel at Anime Magic, if anybody saw me there and I looked really weird, I took an entire edible right before that, so I was just... I literally had that weed paralysis for most of that panel,
yeah.
so...
Well,
I was the only one who was awake.
I had that drunk drowsiness.
And I was kind of awake. I was awake during it. It's like I can still kind of remember it. I was just zooting out of reality. I was in and out of reality there.
So to flash a little bit back to Anime Midwest, to that Internet Weirdos panel, I got to talk about Drakenlord, Germany's locale. You got to talk about the Con Creep.
I mostly just call him Guts Guy, but actually, old YouTube name was Ultima Almighty.
Yeah, that dude.
Which I found out when I searched his name on YouTube. People have archived some of his videos. I haven't actually watched them because I think they're all Undertale stuff.
Yeah. I'm still pissed about that because he seemed like a really nice guy.
He let you hold the Guts sword.
He did let me hold the Guts sword, and it was a great treat. It's a good con memory for me. It's tainted by the fact that I know what the fuck that guy did, but in any case, that's who Hannah got to talk about. Steven got to talk about the ever-growing
concerning bullshit of Ethan Ralph.
Yeah. Which was funny because I don't think, other than maybe Hannah, most of the audience had no real context for who we were talking about. So it was like they were coming in fresh. I know because Mia was at our panel and she had no idea who we were talking about. And I know that she told me personally that she was looking up like Drakenlord. I hope to God she doesn't look up Ethan Ralph, but
actually, I think she should look up Ethan Ralph so she knows who to avoid in the future.
Yeah, and don't let this person run a wrestling show. Because...
Oh, good lord! Imagine having one fixed camera in the corner just because you don't want the cameras to catch you getting served 6 times in a row.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. But I want to say, my favorite, I think the best panel that we had this weekend.
That weekend?
What?
That weekend?
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said this weekend?
God, I wish I was doing a panel this weekend.
That'd be great.
But that weekend was one of my favorites was Animusic because I always love seeing a panel that you think you're gonna have to shit can be just an absolute banger because we did a lot of great stuff during that panel, or you did. We had a lot of good interactions. We will talk about some of the interactions here in a second.
Talk about one interaction with a certain person.
Yeah. Steven got to show off some of his guitar skills, which were always great. I wrote an original song for
I didn't write it for this. I was writing it. I just wanted to write an original song for once, and then for certain songs you got to get in the right frame of mind, and I was able to do it right before the convention, so I was able to get everything down. Except I don't have a title, nor do I have staying lyrics. So it's we're trying. I know at that panel I asked for people to email us to if you had lyrics, and I know we had a teacher, like a music teacher in the front row recording us.
Did.
Which I still haven't seen the recording, by the way.
I personally thought it sounded like an early acoustic cover of an early Seether song, and I mean that with the utmost respect because I fucking love Seether.
I mean that's what I based that one off of.
Did you have a song in particular?
I think I have Plastic Man running through my head when I was making it.
Oh yeah. That kind of era, that kind of 2004 era. Yeah. Seether.
I have my guitar in the same tuning that Seether usually does. So.
Okay, well that's cool. What wasn't cool was so let's talk about this.
Just finally let it go.
Okay, I need to know because I don't even remember how it came up. Keep in mind this is a Sunday panel, so we weren't drinking. I just legitimately do not remember how this came up.
Oh, I think first of all, this guy, we thought he was pretty cool because he knew about the Makoto Shinkai movies besides Your Name.
Okay, so this is how I was introduced to him. So we were talking about anime movie soundtrack. I was kind of giving Steven a break for a bit, so I guess he could tune in
tuning the guitar, make sure the sound was okay.
And if it's a conversation about anime movies, I can run that in my sleep. But in any case,
this guy, he brought up the Japanese title of there's Kotoha no Niwa or something, and we're trying to figure out what it was, and eventually found out it was Garden of Words.
Well, before that, we were talking more broadly about Shinkai movies, because I know he brought up that I had brought up Rad Wimps, the band that does a lot of the...
Your Name?
Yes, so did I, because I was talking about it, because I said, I think I said when Your Name was doing it, I think he used like 5, 6, or 7 songs, but in Suzume, he only used 2.
Yeah, and in Weathering With You, I think he used, just as an aside, I think he used like 2 or 3, something like that.
I know Suzume was the one he used the least.
Okay, so he may have used like 3 or 4 or something. But in any case, I got into this conversation with this guy who was he was foreign. I would say Japanese.
Yeah, I'd say Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah, some kind of East Asian.
Yeah, because I know we had him, and I think we also had a couple of Koreans in the audience.
Yeah,
like
we had a very diverse crowd that day.
Yeah, we did have which was great to see. Always great to see. And I asked him, because we got into this back and forth about Shinkai, and I was like, hey, have you seen Garden of Words? And he kind of looks at me, furrowed his brow a little bit, and was like, what is... Oh, wait, no. He was asking me, or I forget how.
Yes, he was asking you about if he was asking about Garden of Words, but he used the original Japanese name, and then we had to ask a few questions.
I think so. The one about the teacher.
It's Hot for Teacher. Yeah. That's how I responded. I was like, yo, Hot for Teacher. I love that movie. And he got it. He understood that reference.
Yeah. So we thought this was the coolest guy for a while.
Yeah,
until it's like we were talking about favorite anime openings, or like, and somebody brought up Madoka Magica or something. No, they brought up Claris, that band. So.
Yeah.
Is Claris the band that sings for Madoka Magica? Okay.
Yeah, so I explained as the band that did the Madoka Magica opening, and the guy also said, they also did the Orimo opening.
Oh, who? You said that, or he said
that?
He said it.
Okay.
He said Orimo and Eromanga Sensei were the 2 that he knew that band for. As the whole room turned to look at him, which he then dug himself into the hole even further by lifting up that bag he had, which was full of Orimo and the Lolicon, Siscon stuff.
Can I talk about this moment? Because
go ahead.
Look, I've been going to cons since 2016. Yeah, we're doing this. I've seen a lot of strange stuff. In my life, and I've been paneling since 2017. So you see a lot of stuff. When you see a lot of good stuff, you see a lot of bad stuff, you see a lot of weird stuff. I have never in my life seen someone not only defend Orimo,
I'd just be so proud about it.
No, he took this bag out and he waved it like he was waving around Betsy Ross or something.
And I was sitting in the same row as this guy, just like a few seats away from him, and it's just when he saw me look over at that, he looked back at me and said this, I don't have a little sister, so it's okay.
That was not the question. That is not what we were curious about.
Okay, buddy. Great, but...
I mean, I'm uncomfortable with it because I'm a little sister.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes.
So, let me just say real quick, we are not at all, like, trying to cast, like, we're not trying to accuse this guy of anything. Yeah, it was just a weird, funny interaction.
We don't know this guy. This isn't really a personal attack against him.
We're just
roasting something silly we witnessed.
Yeah, it was just a very bizarre interaction. But
thanks to that bizarre interaction, Wade has gone down a rabbit hole he wish he hadn't.
So,
we had to explain what Siscon was to him.
And here was the reaction. It was Steven, Heather, my girlfriend, and Hannah celebrating Steven having a good panel. It's those 4 Middle Eastern guys in the van rocking out to Dancing in the
Moonlight.
And there's just one guy sitting there and just quiet, still-faced contemplation like, there's a motherfucking fandom for this shit? Because I never thought in a million fucking years. I knew what Orimo was because, like, it's the anime that everyone likes to clown on. isn't there another anime, or am I thinking of the same anime? The anime where like the guy raises the girl and then he ends up dating her.
Usagi drop.
Okay, yeah, that one, which sounds horrifying, but like, you know, I didn't.
If you ever see something called Usagi drop or bunny drop, watch the anime and watch the anime only. Do not read the manga.
And so with that, so yeah, because it's another like.
It's like the one example of if you like the show, do not touch the manga. Do not touch the manga.
So.
The
yeah.
manga is not better.
So what this interaction cracked open for me is that I never thought in a million years. I mean, I knew these shows had fans. It was a fact that I never liked to confront because I just had to stay sane. But when this guy lifted up, I could see it. I could see the bag right now as clearly as I see you. It was pink, and he held it up.
It was pink and green.
It was pink and green, which is ironically because I saw Orihimo for sale at Anime Magic for
$500 for the 2 disc sets.
500 smackaroos for that one.
How the part degenerate with $500.
Yeah. It's like, hey. But you know what? There's some degenerates who would give up their rent for an opportunity to rewatch that show.
I have to give up my rent for a break job.
We can get to that later. But, so, yeah, it really just was like hearing, like, just... I had never expected fans of that kind of show to be so out and proud. You know, you know they exist. They're kind of like the mad woman in the attic of the anime fandom. We feed them, but we don't talk about them. That kind of deal. But, man, just seeing him be so out and proud. And then when he talked to you, I was, like, super curious what he actually said to you. And knowing what he said to you, that's even, like, sir, that I don't recall asking you about you having a little sister.
Man, that's deep, but who asked?
Yeah. But I don't... That's crazy. But I don't remember asking.
Oh, God.
But,
like, nice fetish guy, keep it away from me.
Yeah, yes, because, yeah. So, yeah, I don't even know what to say. I found out there was a SysCon fan.
Oh, God.
My life has just
been...
been...
Yeah, let me tell this one. So, we were going out to a local pool bar, like billiards bar, and Wade was still going on about that interaction. And I just said, you know, there's a term for that, right? There's people who actually like that. And you're like, no. I'm like, yes. It's called SysCon.
Oh, no. I knew what SysCon
was.
Yes.
And then,
I didn't
like,
realize that there was a fandom dedicated to it. And Steven, this was before we actually went to the bowling alley, by the way.
Oh, I thought...
but, it's close to the pool bar. But,
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm texting Steven as we're, as the nights, as we're about to get together for that night. I'm like, I can't believe there's a SysCon fandom. This is still fucking me up. And Steven's like, if it makes you feel any better, there's a BroCon fandom. And I find this meme of, call me Scooby because I can't do this anymore. I'm like, why? Why? I don't want to do it anymore. But, yeah. So that was us at Anime Midwest. Very fun convention. Despite our little technical woes, they always know how to put on a good party for us.
I think we also did Waifu Wars that weekend too, didn't we?
Yeah. I don't... That Waifu Wars was kind of a dud.
Yeah, that's nothing to really write home about, because I think
people weren't really antagonistic enough.
Yeah.
Like that antagonism gives more funny stories.
Yeah, and
more stuff to talk about.
And I'll say the convention that I went to that Steven and Hannah couldn't attend, Anime Zing. We me and
you had the weirdest Waifu Wars.
Yeah, that was one that I wish I could talk about more. But hosting that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and it gave me hope that we could bring this panel back. Lots of times.
Yeah, still, when you showed me the picture of the final ranking, somebody put Nagisa from Clanad in C tier, and you said that person's justification for it was, she's nice, she just gets sick a lot.
It's like, Did you watch the show?
That has plot relevancy.
Yeah, did you watch the whole show? I need to know. It is important for me that you know this.
How about Faye being in like shit on fire tier? That was hilarious.
That was a bit sketch, but
Comey in like what, D tier?
Yeah.
Oh, that pissed me off.
I just imagine Comey in D tier being, she's nice, she just doesn't talk a lot.
My brother, it is not called Comey communicates. It's called, say it with me now, Comey can't communicate. It's not Comey talks all the fucking time. It's Comey can't communicate. What the fuck? Do I have to spell? This made me realize that media literacy really is dead. Like, y'all are some, yeah.
You guys put Uzaki in A tier, but Comey in D tier.
Yeah, I don't actually have a problem with Uzaki in A tier.
Yeah,
it's that I have a problem that Uzaki went into A tier and Comey went into D tier. Because I love Comey.
I mean, personally, for me, Uzaki would probably be like a B, C tier, but yeah.
I'm saying I don't have a problem.
Uzaki's mom should be in A tier.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, you're right.
You're right.
But I don't have a problem with Uzaki being in A tier. I would personally probably put her more towards B, but that's just me. I mean, we all know what tier she should really be in. D. There you go. You got it. You got it.
D.
Yeah, D tier. Anyway, so yeah, for any of our listeners who are seeking a undergraduate or graduate degree in microbiology, just come to our next Waifu Wars panel. There's a whole petri dish of single-celled organisms out there. Because 02, I will save this for when we talk about.
Oh yeah, 02 got like what, S tier?
We'll talk about it when we get to it. We'll get there when we get there. Anyway, the next convention that the three of us appeared at, with, of course, my girlfriend coming with us, was Anime Magic, which I have to say was a really, really fun weekend. We were only there for a night, but it was
just there for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday. But in the time that we were there, I had so much fun. That was probably one of the funnest cons I've ever been to.
I mean, in the moment that's still been living in my head, the moment I realized we actually had fans was me and Steven were wandering around, and I think it was right before my Love Live panel. We were just waiting just near the room.
We weren't even near the room. We were going down the escalator when we got recognized.
Yeah, some guy that was on staff said, "Hey, I love your guys' stuff. What panels are you doing?"
Yeah.
Just said, Love Live panel, Angst and Regret, and...
Which, by the way, I wanted...
Forgot what other two we were doing.
Kogias
and Dubs.
Dubs, yeah.
The Dub panel that I kind of got shanghaied into doing. But I'll talk about how I reacted to that. I just want to say on air, I want to ask you guys, would you want to go back to Anime Magic next year and do, like, just all late night panels?
Yes.
That would be great.
Okay, because that's something I wanted to offer to you, as well as doing Amki. Do you guys want to go to Amki?
I mean, I want to go to Amki because the Sunday of Amki is my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we need to know that because, hey, Amki, most cons set their panel submission, like, requests only a couple months in advance. Why are you setting it way back in August? If it weren't for Hannah, I wouldn't have even known that it was happening.
Yes, I was just on Instagram today and just saw from Amki's thing that panel submissions close August 31st.
Yes, that was... Yeah,
it's August 25th that we're recording this.
Yeah, not great, Bob. Anyway. But don't worry, we will be in full force at Amki. We haven't decided if we're doing one night or 2 nights. Anime Magic.
And let's at least stay for Sunday.
Yes, definitely.
So I can celebrate being 24 at a convention.
Hell yeah. But Anime Magic, definitely we will do the weekend for that. And we will do all late night panels because a lot of the people that we ran into, and I say that, and I only bring this up because people really wanted us to do late night panels.
And he's finishing the story I was telling earlier after we told that guy what the 4 panels we were doing, and he said, yeah, none of our late night stuff this time, and he was genuinely disappointed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He said that our late night stuff's the best stuff.
Yeah, which is like...
Imagine our late night stuff being the best stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't. I mean, I've only been paneling since like 21,
Yeah.
since the Christian incident.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, got an update on that case. But
We'll save that for the miscellaneous
section.
section.
But I didn't expect us to be the rising stars of the Midnight Sun.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd ever be recognized outside of the panel room.
Yeah. But I want to say that Anime Magic, well, not a big weekend for us. It was still a lot of fun, and the panels that we did do, I thought we really shined.
How about we talk about our biggest panel, anime dubs?
Anime dub. Well,
Good.
why don't we talk about Hannah's Love Live panel first, because that was a big panel.
Yeah.
That was probably
Oh, yeah.
that was probably my favorite performance of you doing that panel, because
And your favorite guest showed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And your
Wait,
favorite guest
I
showed
got
up.
to meet fucking Axl Rose, dude.
Yeah. But Saturday of Midwest was just the day I kind of became a micro celebrity in the Midwest Love Live fan base.
You mean Magic?
Yeah, Magic.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, talk a little bit about your Love Live panel.
Okay, so on Saturday I did my Love Live lore panel, the one I talked about earlier, except this time we had a bunch of people show up for that one. I mean, I think first one I saw was this guy that came in carrying a cardboard cutout of Hanayo.
Which melted my heart, but must have made you so happy, because you're a big Hanayo stan too.
Yeah. I think you and me have kind of a similar Muse ranking where Nico's #1, but Hanayo's a very close second.
Yeah.
I mean, Hanayo's kind of your baby.
Yes. I mean, I literally have the Nezo in my bedroom. It would be my top 3 would be Nico, Hanayo, and Maki.
I mean, close ranking to mine. It's Nico, Hanayo, Nozomi, and then Maki.
Okay.
God, I'm the different one, aren't I? Because instead of Nico, I go with Nozomi being #1.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, it's for the exact 2 reasons you guys think.
Knows how to use them. Which, by the way, when that Nozomi cosplayer showed up to Hannah's panel at Anime Midwest, I'm like, fuck. There goes all my Nozomi jokes, because they're all sexual.
Wade and I just looked at each other and went, damn it. Damn it.
No hog silk for us.
And also that panel, just by the moment where I just made my day. So a guy came in carrying a Terra Jumbo Nesso of Best Girl Nico.
Yes. That was awesome. Like, when I saw that walk through the door, I almost couldn't believe what I was looking at.
Oh yeah, I think, was that like your first time seeing a Terra Jumbo Nesso in person?
Yes.
It was also mine.
And it did not disappoint. That thing was fucking gigantic.
Yeah,
you lay it across his table, it would flop over.
Yeah, I think he sat it down in the front row, and it was just sat it straight up, and it was sitting about the size of a person.
Yeah, and I put a beer in it.
Yeah. We should make that the picture.
Yeah, I think I am gonna make that the picture.
Yeah. Don't worry, I haven't, because there's like a girl's face in it, like in the background.
Yeah,
I can edit it to like just
like blur it out or make like a picture over it.
Oh, I can just drag it down a little bit so it's just Nico in the chair.
Okay.
But yeah, that was awesome to see. Yeah, I had never seen a Terra Jumbo before. I guess you had before, because you
a few years ago, and I went to like CAD 2018, and I went to a Vocaloid concert, like a pre-recorded concert of the Vocaloid Ia, and some guy sitting next to me, it was him, then he had a Terra Jumbo Ruby Nesso with him, and he just sat it down in the chair between us.
Yeah, so tell us about how you felt doing like that. Like, how did it go, like panel-wise?
I think that's probably the best one of that I've ever done. That was probably the best crowd I've ever had for that. Probably just because Magic seems like it attracts more like Love Live and Idol fans than I've ever seen at the other conventions.
Yeah, I was really happy for you. I mean, my girlfriend was dressed as Yoshiko. It's Yoshiko, babe, not Yohane. Anyway, there were like 3 or 4 Yoshikos in that room, and I got to take a picture of her with all of them.
Aww.
Yeah. it was great to see. I mean, again, it just astonishes me how popular this franchise actually is. Like, it doesn't really get a lot of traction, like, on social media. It doesn't get, like, the same amount of clicks as stuff like, you know, like
the popular stuff right now.
Hiroaka or One Piece or, you know, Chainsaw Man. Not that those are bad shows, but, like...
I mean, One Piece is definitely taking over because of Gear 5 right now, but yeah.
But, like, Love Live, like, the actual musical acts, those guys fill stadiums.
Yeah.
Like, they fill stadiums that, like, U2 and the Stones would fill today. I mean, it's insane, you know? And I love that. I'm pretty sure that panel did get accepted. I mean, I'm sure it would have gotten accepted anyway. But it got accepted because that Anime Magic is so idol-friendly. So they're probably happy. I saw so much Love Live stuff that weekend. And also, about the Terra Jumbo Nico at your panel, do you suspect that the guy who brought that in owned one of the cars out on the showroom floor? Because I saw that Terra Jumbo. I saw it.
Yeah, I know what car you're talking about, too.
There was a Terra Jumbo Nico sitting on top of a, what was it, like a Nissan?
Let me look at it. I'll get it better once I get the picture up.
At Anime Magic, part of, like, the floor that the vendors hall is in is dedicated to showing off Irashas, which is like anime-themed cars.
Yeah, and they had some nice-looking cars out
there. Oh, yeah, it was a Toyota MR2. We had Taro Jumbo Nico with the Maki on top.
Like a regular-sized Maki.
Yeah.
Nezoberry on top of the Nico.
Which which I think is really funny because it has Rico on the side. It's just all Love Live.
Yeah.
It has Niji with the windshield cover.
Guy loves his Love Live. Yeah, Hannah, you did a really good job with that panel, and you got to debut your new costume.
Yeah, had Hanamaru from the Koini Narita Aquarium video.
Yeah.
And which, that costume was actually a big hit, so wondering if I should maybe get more Hanamaru outfits.
Yes, because Hanamaru is one of the best girls of...
Yeah.
Hanamaru's baby.
Hanamaru is... Well, Ruby's baby. Hanamaru is...
They're both babies.
Foodie.
Yeah, I guess.
And maybe instead of Kotori, Hanamaru is going to become my new brand.
Yeah, there you go. And then I had to host a panel about dubs in anime. Just a heads up, I did not elect to host this panel. I kind of got shanghaied into it because of some stuff with, I don't even really know how to explain it. But in any case, so I put this panel together, very much in the style of Steven's.
Didn't you finish making it the morning before
I made it all the morning of.
Ooh.
So, this was my first time. I had never done it before. I was literally following Steven's example of how to do a panel like this, not knowing how. I was even trying to weasel out of it at one point, but, you know, I knew they were here for dubs, so it was kind of a non-starter. In any case, it turned out to be one of my favorite panels that I've ever done. Because of the response, I really got to talk with the audience, I got to sort of learn new stuff, and I got to share some of my favorite kind of anime opinions. And so it was all good. It all worked out in the end. You know, as it usually does, but in any case, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I hope you bring back the dub panel because I was not there for that.
Yeah, you were off winning this one here, little baby Kazumi.
Yeah, the tiniest Kasumi Nesso, well, the tiniest Nesso in general I have ever seen.
Yeah, just as folks, this thing is like, how long is this? Like 4 or 5 inches, something like that. I don't know. It's a small Nezzo.
A mini Nezzo, you could say.
A mini Nezzo, but it's so cute, so it was worth going to that panel for. And we showed up anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we were drinking the beers we'd stuffed into our bags. So
yeah, this panel was a Love Live trivia game show.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The style of Jeopardy.
Yeah, I was brought up to play, and I stayed on top of the leaderboard for pretty much every single round. Yeah, the style of it was, they started on easy mode, brought up 4 people, and I was one of the 4 people that volunteered, and whoever won the round that time could either just give up and pick a big prize or just keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kept picking prizes and kept staying for more rounds. So yeah, I gathered up some big prizes. I think for the first round I grabbed this Muse lanyard that I think it was one of the promotional items for the School Idol Project movie. Then for the second round, my prize was this little costuming Nesso.
Yeah.
Then third round, I had to check my pictures because I forget what exactly I...
Weren't you gonna win a trip to Seattle that you couldn't commit to?
Wait, here,
That was round 4.
Oh.
Round 3...
round 3, my prizes were
either stickers or buttons.
Yeah, the voice actress for Kasumi, Yoshiko, and Kanon were at Anime Expo a month ago, and so the thing was a pack of promotional buttons of their characters.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, for the final round, the Nightmare round, the big prize for the whole show was a free badge for Northwest Idol Fest, which is a Idol/Love Live themed convention that was in Seattle. The thing did not cover travel costs or anything. It was just a badge for the convention. So, yeah, I knew we did not have the means to travel to Seattle. So,
yeah, I did not want to book a trip for probably 2 weeks.
Yeah.
just to go over for the Idol Fest.
I mean, it would have been fun if it was in Chicago or something, but
hell, maybe even South Dakota if they ever decide to do it there.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone wants to see Love Live Badlands.
Love Live Deadwood.
Hey, I mean, I've compared Love Live to Yellowstone before in terms of its popularity, but
And so for Nightmare Round, I just they kept telling me you can keep playing and just give the badge to someone else. I said no, I'm just gonna back out here. I've won enough.
So yeah, Day 1 of Magic was great.
Yes.
Day 2 was a lot of fun with...
I'm glad the hyperfixation I've had since I was 15 finally paid off in something productive.
Yeah, with a little Kazumi Nesso.
Yeah.
Yep, Day 2...
Kasumi Nesso, probably about life size of Kasumi. I could eat this thing. Every time I see it, I just kind of want to throw it at the wall lovingly.
Alright, so moving on to Day 2 of Magic, that's when the first panel we did was Angst and Regret.
Yeah.
Which
was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
We dropped some spicy opinions, but I think the audience actually rolled with most of what we had to say.
Yeah, they did.
And,
very receptive, I could say.
Yeah, and we got to talk some crap about some shows that we think are shit, and also we got to offer some perspectives on shows that we like, but think kind of fell short of sort of the hype that are sort of surrounded. Standard stuff with Angst and Regret.
Can I say something about that panel, though?
Please do.
So at the very end, I'm gonna spoil it for everyone. At the very end, we give off the brainchild for that, which was my very first pick for the anime club when they let me in, which was Dream Eater Mary. And there is a concerning trend that I'm seeing that more and more people have seen that show to each convention that we take it to.
Yeah, this time there were 3 people that raised their hands.
Yeah. Are you bringing the show back just by reminding people of it? Well, fuck, did I actually watch that back in 2012 or whenever that was?
I think it came out I think it was 2010, 2011.
Yeah, but it probably would have come to America. Well, dubbed at least, probably a year or 2 after that.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, if I'm raising awareness for people to watch that show, good, I guess. I think.
No, because it's dog shit.
It's not actually it's that bad, but
that's the whole point. The panel exists.
Hey, you know what? Maybe if they like it enough, we'll come back. Even though it's been almost 2 decades.
Yeah. Good luck with that. I mean, one thing that I liked was actually talking about Another, because I got to point out that there really hasn't been a mainstream kind of anime horror release in over. I think another might have been like one of the last ones to.
One of the last actually horror.
Yeah, because horror anime used to be big in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, we're never getting like another Paranoia Agent.
Yeah, stuff like that. Because anime is so like commercialized and mainstream now, it's kind of like the thing with movies, like, you know, like you can't really be as experimental and off the wall anyway. Not that I'm not going to be one of those Debbie Downers that say, oh, anime is bad. No, anime is as good as it ever was. It's just certain
things go in and out of style.
Yeah, and it's not always because people are bored with them. That's my important point. Is like, you know, sometimes it's market forces.
Yeah,
and
gotta make the things that bring in money.
Yeah, which is, you know, I get it, but it's also kind of disheartening. But in any case,
nice to see that shonen hasn't changed in like what 40 years, and it's still
50 years.
Yeah, and it's still bringing in money hand over fist.
Yeah, some things are just built to last, but yeah.
I have one more story from Love Live related stuff at Magic.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of it.
Yeah. As I was leaving that Love Live panel, because I wasn't going to do the nightmare round, and you guys were all already there, so I figured we might as well just go to the hotel room for some more drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was leaving, somebody handed me a ribbon and a business card looking thing. I just noticed the ribbon said, "Proud to be a MILF," like abbreviated MILF. And then like the card was an advertisement for a Discord server.
Oh, nice.
I noticed MILF in the link for it, so it's like, oh, that's a title for something. So I think it's Midwest Idol, and I forget what the L and F stand for, but so I joined that Discord server and just told them that I was the Hanamaru from the panel, as the Hanamaru from the game show there, and that everybody there was congratulating me for sweeping the show.
I mean, that was cool to see, and it was a lot of fun. Anime Magic, we will definitely be going back, and we will be coming with a full boat of late night panels, so you can watch us. I thought
you can watch us get sloshed and try to decipher the things on there.
Yeah. Apparently, that's what you people like, and you know what? Give the people what they want. Is what when in Rome, give them a fuck ton of booze. That's what they say. But yes, Anime Magic was great. But I think now it is time to transition to Anime Roundup. So
we haven't recorded in a while, so we have a lot of stuff to talk about.
We do have a lot of stuff to talk about. It's so much so that I actually had to write it all down. Time to go for the good, bad, and the what the fuck did we just watch? Let's start with something maybe not easy. Actually, definitely not easy. Me and Hannah, along with my girlfriend, watched the Evangelion Rebuild movies. Hannah, what did you think of those?
I mean, I don't really particularly care for Evangelion that much. I mean, my opinion on Evangelion was that it was groundbreaking for the time, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of thoughts about Evangelion. For reference, I do put the show and End of Evangelion movie, the stuff that came out in the 90s, A tier, kind of a low A tier, but still A tier. So I think it's safe to say that Hideki Anno has not figured out how to end this series in a way that's satisfying to everyone. I mean, as far as both previous endings of Evangelion are memes in their own right. Obviously, the show ending of Evangelion is a meme because of, congratulations. And the end of Evangelion movie is a meme because of, just how bizarre and out there and grimdark it actually is. But the Rebuild movies, I'm kind of there with Hannah. I don't really have a lot to say about the Rebuild movies. Anytime I ask people about them, they either say, wait, what are the Rebuild movies? Or they just kind of hand wave them away. I give the last two, like 2.22 and 3.33, Probably low A tier, and I give the first one a B tier because it's just kind of a retread of the show. I do actually respect what they were trying to do, which was to kind of restart the show and give it kind of a fresh perspective. It just didn't really turn out to be a whole lot. So yeah, I give the first movie a B tier, second movies, or the last two movies, an A tier. I did like the new character, Mari. I thought she was kind of...
yeah, I liked her.
Yeah, she was a good fresh character. It's just, it was kind of a too little too late kind of situation. So, I think we'll just leave the rebuild films as they are. Not really a whole lot to say, honestly. I mean, I'm glad I saw them as a fan of Evangelion. But yeah, Hideki Anno has still not figured out how to end this. In fact, the rebuild films don't even end. They just apparently there's a new rebuild film that came out like a year ago that I now have to watch. I mean, granted, it's on Amazon Prime, and all it takes is a click to get to it. But suffice to say, that's a mighty big click because that's probably going to be 2 hours of my life watching the anime fumble its ending yet again. So yeah.
The only thing about Evangelion that I kind of actually like is, that meme with the Italian man? I'm not sure. I know it's a video from 2016.
Oh, yeah. I know what meme you're talking about.
It's when Shinji is just standing over Asuka.
I know.
I'll explain it for the audience.
Okay, in the interest of making this a standalone.
Yeah, for just standing over Asuka, and it's just like Shinji, it's like this scene being released. Shinji's VA, Asuka's VA, all like the executives, the stockholders.
Yeah,
the people watching it in theaters.
The stockholders be like, "You guys shut the fuck up." Oh! I mean, that scene, honestly, in the movie, I don't even know what the context was really supposed to be. I mean,
it's about the same as Misato getting railed up by Shinji's dad, I think.
Yeah, it's just...
Guys, it's important to the plot, trust me.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those source bro trust me kind of deals. So yeah, not really a whole lot to say about Rebuild. They're fine films. In fact, if you didn't like Evangelion, like the show or the movie, and are kind of looking for a fresh perspective, but because you like the kind of concept of what Evangelion was trying to do, being kind of this deconstruction on like mech shows and whatnot, like kind of the ilk, like Gundam shows that were coming out in the 80s and 90s. Yes, Steven, I see your smirk. We will fucking talk about it. But in any case, if you like the concept of what Evangelion could have been, but didn't like the execution in the show or the movie, you might get something out of the Rebuild films. That's all I'll say.
Yep.
Again, Hannah, what are your tier rankings for the Rebuild movies?
I mean, all of Evangelion kind of goes in B tier for me.
Okay, fair enough. Like I said...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I do like the new character. I like the unhinged girl.
Yeah, Mari's a lot of fun. It's just, again, for me, too little, too late. I give the first movie a B tier and the second two low A tier. Now let's move on to a show that Hannah picked, throwing it all the way back to 2004 with Samurai 7.
Yeah, Samurai 7 was an anime I watched when I was 13 and it became my favorite anime ever when I was 13, but just kind of ended up forgetting a lot about it because around that time, whenever I watched a show, I would immediately go online to try to find the fan base for it, and the fan base had pretty much died by like 2008.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just felt like I couldn't really talk about that show with anyone, so just kind of rotted in my brain for a while until like a year or two ago I bought the DVD for it. So I was just waiting for a time when just waiting for a time when I could finally show it for Anime Club. When you guys finally felt like getting a 2-weeker out of me that wasn't Love Live.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, since you were a fan of the show when you were a child, how do you think it held up?
Oh, it definitely held up.
I agree. I thought this was a really, really fun, good action samurai show.
I know the show has aired on Toonami like at least twice before, but I just wonder why does nobody talk about this one more?
Yeah, I loved pretty much everything about it. I couldn't quite. I mean, I give it like either a high A or low S tier personally, because there's just so much to love about this show. If you like, and especially if you're a fan of like Kurosawa stuff, you will love. I think this anime sort of
it is an adaptation of the Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai.
Yeah, which is basically these villagers are being fucked with by some bandits, so they go out and hire some samurai to try and help them fight back against the bandits, and that's essentially what happens in Samurai 7.
Except it has robots in it.
It has robots. It's futuristic, except not really. It's a really interesting sort of style.
Fighting robots with basically swords and barbarian technology.
Yeah.
It's like steampunk Edo Japan.
Yeah. It's a very interesting setting, but it's one that you really get used to and really come to love, especially if you're a fan of like steampunk type stuff, which I kind of am.
Heihachi was the first anime boy I ever loved.
Yeah, I want to say, the thing that really sells this show to me personally are the Samurai 7, the 7 primary warriors that they get, and I wrote down their names just so I wouldn't forget them: Kachiro, Kanbei, Heihachi, Kyuzo, Kikuchio, or Kiku.
Yeah.
Kikuo.
Yeah, like at least the dub kind of just calls him Kikucho.
Yeah, Kikucho. Shichirochi.
Yeah, though it seems like in the dub they just call him Shiroji.
Or Shiroji.
Yeah.
And Gorobe. All of those characters I loved. Like, there was something that we were kind of joking that they look like kind of low-rent versions of other anime characters.
Yeah, like Kyuzo, he looks like a mix of Spike Spiegel and Vash the Stampede.
Yeah.
He has a long red coat and blonde hair, but his hair looks like spikes.
Yeah, Kikucho is kind of like a red retread of Barry the Chopper from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I guess Heihachi looks like any number of Miyazaki characters. In fact, the whole setting kind of had a whole like castle in the sky kind of vibe to it. It was.
And Kanbei looks like Jesus.
Yeah,
Kanbei was Samurai Jesus, yes.
Yes, and I gotta say that this show really does work well, and it's definitely worth revisiting. I know it's like 15 years old or whatever, but it holds up.
The show has to be in somebody's repressed memories.
And I gotta say,
the show's almost 20.
Oh yeah, because
2004.
Yeah, 2004. And I gotta say, spoiler alerts coming up. When Kikucho died, I almost started crying. I was this close. To crying.
The only reason why he did was because the Blu-ray kept fucking up.
Yeah, which eventually we had to switch to the DVD version, which was so bizarre because, like, it was a brand new set.
I had never even touched those discs before.
It might be something with my player. I might have to get it replaced or something because, like, that's unacceptable. But in any case, poor Kikucho! He was the best boy! Even though he wasn't really a boy.
Yeah.
Well, technically he was because he's only, like...
13?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, apparently... After we had watched it again, I was actually on the TV tropes page for it and looking at all the characters, and apparently Kikuchio is actually a girl's name in Japanese.
Oh. Well, someone wasn't thinking when they made that name. But I'll say this.
And also, apparently on that same page too, it said, according to Word of God, Kanbei's supposed to be Hispanic.
Interesting.
Have
But
Mexican Jesus.
yeah, well,
Hey, cabron.
yeah. But I'll say this: Kikucho's death was sad, but just seeing his melted boots actually did kind of make me laugh. I felt like a fucking asshole for it. Like, just because he tried to stop this like giant samurai airship
From crushing the city.
Yeah, and it was extremely
The
brave.
village.
Yeah, it was an extremely brave act, but it was also like, okay, that melted boot, that's straight out of Mel Brooks.
Yeah. I'd say
Like they knocked his socks off.
Oh God. I'd say my favorite character was actually Heihachi. Not for the reasons that Hannah gave, but because he's usually this happy-go-lucky guy, but if you cross him, he just turns into traitors get no quarter
Yeah.
mode.
Oh yeah, that one scene where they
I
think-
find the rat in the I was like with Heihachi, I'm like, yeah, fucking kill him because he's gonna rat these fuckers out.
Yeah,
But-
this is your one.
Yeah, I think my favorite samurai, I guess we could just say who our favorite samurai were, are either Gorobe, who's like the magician samurai, who,
Might get off to pain a little bit more than you are comfortable with.
yeah, or Kikucho. I thought Kikucho, like, he really had a good arc
Yeah.
as a samurai.
He kind of has Bender from Futurama vibes.
I almost thought he was voiced by that. What's his name? John DiMaggio? Or...
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's Chris Sabat in actuality.
Yeah, and
I don't know why I almost said in real life.
And Sabat gives a great performance. All of the samurai give a great performance. Hannah, I mean, this might be besides Heihachi, who's your favorite samurai?
Probably Kikucho.
Kikucho, yeah.
Honestly, when we did this rewatch of it, I forgot about Shichiroji.
Yeah,
I kind of like I remembered he existed, but kind of forgot like pretty much everything about his character.
Oh yeah, he was.
And he was better than I remembered.
Yeah, Shiroji, I think his thing is he enters the fold so late that you don't get to. But I mean, he still has a lot going for him, and if he's someone's like favorite samurai, I honestly wouldn't fault them. I do like him. It's just not as much
The
as
guy that actually went to go on and have a normal life after the war.
Yeah, and
His character was that he was Kanbei's war wife.
you're right, which is a funny bit of like cultural like context that you have to look up, but you know, still. So Samurai 7, I give a very high A, almost S tier 2. In fact, probably if I rewatched it again, I would give it an S tier. It's just sort of the things that were holding me back is sometimes the story got pretty unfocused. But whenever it was focused in on the Seven Samurai, it was like, you know, fucking dialed in. It was a great show.
It's actually kind of my funny story of Samurai 7 was that at the time that show was my favorite anime. That was around the time I went to my very first anime convention, which was Anime Zap 2014.
Oh, wow.
So, like, when I saw Greg Ayers was a guest there who voices Heihachi.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of funny.
yeah, my parents, like, the reason I was able to watch Samurai 7 was because my parents still had that show on DVD back when my mom used to buy a lot of anime DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
And so, it's like they still had one of, like, back when DVDs used to come with little booklets. Like, they had, like, character art and stuff, and my parents still had the very first one that had some of the character designs, and one of them was for a character called the Imperial Envoy. That's just what he's called, and Chuck Huber voices that character, and Chuck Huber was also at that con, so...
Oh, yeah.
Back in the times before you had to pay voice actors for autographs, you just had to stand in line for a bit. I got Chuck Huber to sign that, and he remembered voicing that character, or at least that's what he told me, which my parents found that really hilarious that I went to this big name voice actor and had him talk about a very, very minor role he had in something.
Yeah, 2014. I think that what was Hubert in 2014? That was gigantic during that year.
He was in Hitalia.
Yeah,
He was in Hitalia.
Hitalia was mostly what he talked about at that panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Hitalia.
was the voice of Austria.
Yeah, he mostly talked about voicing Austria and voicing Hiei in Yu Yu Hakusho, which I have not seen.
Oh, yeah. So, I want to say real quick to your point, Hannah, about voice actors at cons remembering very small roles that they did. So, at Anime Zing, which was the convention that Steven and Hannah couldn't attend,
I'll go to Zing someday.
Yeah, I was talking to Jay Hickman, who's a voice actor that we really love. He was Mekazawa and Cromartie High,
and the Prince and Princess Tutu.
Yeah, and Floki and Vinland Saga. He's been in a lot of stuff. Great voice actor, great man too. And I asked him because he was in. I went to his voice actor panel at Anime Zing. Great panel, by the way. And I asked him about a show that he had been in for only a couple of episodes called Canon. Now, Canon is a show. It was one of Steven's not troll picks. It was a really good show that we watched for February because it's an
adaptation of a Studio Key visual novel, same studio that made Clanad.
Yeah. So it's tangentially related to Clanad. It's made by basically the same people. As for Jay Hickman's involvement, he played the student council president who is in like 2 episodes.
2 or 3.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, and that's basically the character. I even had to look up the name. It was like Kuze. Which I wanted to look up just so I could, maybe impress Jay Hickman, because I'm going in thinking he's not gonna remember this fucking role. It was 2005 when this anime came out. Probably dubbed it 15 years ago, whatever. So I asked him, hey, do you remember a show that you were in called Canon or Canon? It was like a Studio Key show. That was kind of my question to him, and he was able to tell me. Like, when he recorded that, he was able to tell me, like, he remembered that, I played the student council president who interrupted some school dance or something. I was like, it was like the Yuletide ball or whatever. And he remembered everything about his character. He just couldn't remember the name because it was such a minor, character. But he remembered voicing that character, which I thought was the coolest thing. Flashback to John Swayze. Not that... I'm sure John Swayze remembers his small roles too. It's just, I think I was talking to him about, hey, do you remember being in From the New World, which is one of my favorite anime of all time, and he had no recollection of it. And because thinking back, rewatching that show, I did notice that his name pops up a lot, but only in like
very minor roles.
Additional. It's like they'll have at the end of the anime dub credits like additional voices. Talk about like if you voiced like a line or something, you get like a credit in.
And voicing like a background character.
Yeah, and that's where mostly Swayze popped up. But that was really cool that Hickman remembered that, and that's cool that Chuck Huber remembered that little part in Samurai 7. So high A tier for Samurai 7 for me.
Yeah, S tier for me.
Yeah, I put it. The more I think about it, I think it goes into very high A.
Okay, so that's where we feel about Samurai 7. And guess what? Our next anime is not one that we watched together, but we have all seen. It is I Finally Joined the Craze. I finally let Heather take the wheel and show me this anime. Spy Family is absolutely fantastic, and it lives up to the hype. It's such a good show.
Do you want to adopt Anya?
I have an Anya in my room. We have an Anya Nezos. But yeah, I love Anya. I love Yor. I love Lloyd. I love all the characters.
Yuri exists.
I don't want to think about Yuri. Yuri is like.
What about Fiona?
Fiona's not bad. Yeah.
Fiona gets excused because she's a child.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. Damien. I don't even find Damien that bad, to be honest.
Yeah, he's just a kid.
Yeah, his dad is very Tim Burton-ish.
How about the was it the headmaster?
I
That
fucking
does-
love the headmaster. Eleganto!
Got demoted to being the kindergarten teacher.
Yeah. But he goes so hard. And also, there was that one kid who was in kindergarten who's like when they have the dodgeball match. Who's
It's just gigantic.
Yeah, I expected him to come out like the purple cobras from dodgeball.
It's like, isn't his name like Billy or something?
Yeah. So I gotta say, Spy Family.
What did they do? Adopt an American?
So yeah, with Spy Family, I loved all the characters. I think the story and the aesthetic I actually really vibe with, because it's got this kind of like Mission Impossible, like the original Mission Impossible, early James Bond kind of esque setting to it, but it's also a very sort of wholesome, obviously family show, because it's the spy who has to set up this family so he can,
To basically stop the two sides. It's like kind of like East and West Germany, but not Germany.
Yeah.
It's like say if this one guy gets pissed off, that he'll start a war with the other side of things. So spies the guy is super secretive, so they think the only way that they can interact with him is like having a spy pose as a parent to get a child into the school that his son goes to, and like eventually gets to the point where like they become friends with his son so that they can go over to his house.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a pretty well put together plan, honestly. Like of how you would actually go about spying on this person. It's like, oh yeah, why don't we just, because it's like the government is super closed off, why don't we interact with him at probably the only social function he's come to, which, has to do with his kid. But yeah, I will say that I love most of the characters. Yuri is my least favorite character. I think Yuri should die.
Because he's Siscon.
He is Siscon, but he's not in the show that much. So he's it doesn't drag the show. I'm giving the show a very, very good review, by the way. But yeah, look out for the character Yuri. He sucks. He's very, very uncomfortable to be around. He is kind of delightful. Like he I almost said clowns on himself a lot. So it's kind of okay from that kind of standpoint. But yeah, I just adore like these characters.
Yeah, I just love the plot of it. Lloyd being like, I'm only being a wholesome father for the mission. Once this mission is over, I'll abandon this family. But you just clearly see that they're all growing attached to each other.
It's like, I'll abandon this mission, or I'll abandon this family.
Being a wholesome father, like, this is just for the mission.
Yeah,
this is just for the mission.
And when he says that to himself, I'm like, C-A-P, Cap.
Yeah, so we'll say why Yor is probably one of the best anime waifus that is actually a wife.
Yes.
The plot of it is that it's like her secret that she's hiding is that at night she's an assassin.
Yeah. For who we don't know, but she is an assassin.
Yeah, but the thing is, but she's also a very wholesome character, just in her personality, and
she's also not psychotic either.
That's like not like her being like wholesome and ditzy and stuff is like that's not just a fake personality she puts on to hide the fact that she's an assassin. She's just genuinely like that.
Yeah.
Just basically is just assassin as her night job.
And I can't tell you how refreshing that was to see in a show like this, where they could have just made her be just this cynical. I'm tired of like really cynical characters, if I'm being honest. Like I think everyone, or I can't speak for everyone, but a lot of people I know are fucking fed up with like the cynicism that we see in me. Let's just have some fun characters again. Yeah. And like all of these characters are fun. Lloyd's great. Yor, I think you listed everything what I love about Yor.
And also underappreciated character, Frankie being the best uncle.
Oh yes, Frankie's great. I fucking love Frankie.
Yeah.
He kind of seems like a character that John Lovitz would play. I don't know why, he just has a very John Lovitz vibe to him.
And part 2 of season 1, they finally get the dog.
Yes.
Bond.
Yeah, Bond. Borf. What the dog doing? Being a hero.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah, just funny because Bond is a Great Pyrenees, and one of my family dogs is actually half Great Pyrenees.
Oh, okay. Which that's like south of France, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the big thing about Great Pyrenees is that they're great sheep herding dogs, but besides that, they're very lazy.
That's...
For a brief time, my brother worked at the local vet's office, and basically when people boarded their dogs there, he'd basically have to take them out, just kind of walk them around the premises for a bit. And but every time somebody boarded a Great Pyrenees there and he had to walk them, Great Pyrenees pretty much just take a few steps and then just plop down.
Right.
Wouldn't move.
Yeah, so I gotta say, kind of moving on, because we didn't watch this all together and, we didn't get to experience it all together. I love Spy Family. I can't wait they're doing a movie, aren't they?
But yeah, I think they're doing a movie for the next part, and yeah,
I think
sure we'll be getting more seasons.
Yeah. So I'm definitely excited.
Especially considering all the Anya merch they've been popping out.
Yeah.
The money machine has to keep flowing.
And let me say real quick before we move on from Spy Family, Anya, great kid character. Like kid character, like let's say characters under 10 are really hard to nail in any kind of like media, but not especially anime, but like in anime it's rarer. Like I think one of the best examples before Spy Family would be something like Dororo with the
title character.
The title character of the show, Dororo, is a great kid character. But I would put Anya next to Dororo.
Yeah, like a kid character, or with Anya, she has superpowers, but still acts like a 6-year-old would.
Yeah, exactly. And
if you don't get me this dog, I'll drop out of school.
Yes, she's very, very spunky, very much knows what she wants, but is also very cute. She's not annoying. She's not overbearing. They use her in just the right way, which is great to see. And also, I love that little dance she does when she's waiting for the phone call. Anya will be accepted. Anya will be accepted. Kia!
Yeah, I forget if it's the second season, like OP or EDU, where like there's that little bit of Anya dancing.
Yeah.
That's like the cutest moment.
Yeah. So my own ranking, S tier for Spy Family, absolutely. You guys, what did you guys think?
S tier for me too.
Yeah, I put that in S tier as well.
Yeah, Spy Family definitely worth the.
Shinzo Abe, that's how you do it.
Yes. Rest in peace, King.
Yeah, and Shinzo Abe, you do not do it like another show on this list.
I guess we're jumping straight to it then.
I mean, I was
just after that line, I just knew we needed to talk about.
Okay,
Yeah.
You know what? That was actually a good transition. So, Steven, why did, in the interest of making this a standalone podcast, aka,
why the fuck did you pick this?
Okay, in the interest of making this a standalone podcast, aka, I gotta go to the can and take a leak. Steven, why don't you explain what Darling in the Franxx is about to who gives a fuck? Fucking dipshit.
Okay. Alright, so,
They pilot the mechs by teens fucking.
okay, can I get
Okay.
this before you go off? So, Darling in the Franxx was a 2015's mech anime that people wanted to see because Gundam decided to take a break that year. Or at least a good Gundam show just didn't want to show up. So people liked Darling in the Franxx. Initially, the show was kind of okay. It was talking about if stunted stunted child soldiers, I can't say that word most of the time, fought these robotic dinosaurs for magma. It's a show.
Do you feel like you want to punch yourself in the dick right now?
Oh god. And the robots that are called Franxx after the guy who created them, which
A man named Frank.
Yeah, man, with the last name of Franxx.
Damn, they really swung for the fences on that one.
Oh my god. Oh, which I found out.
Which I make some more twisted tea.
Can you get me one?
Yes.
Which I found out in the show. His birth date is January 26th, 1997. Mine is the very next day.
Oh, it's like it was meant to be.
And so it takes the show is supposed to be about what if we let this experimental group have the ability to go through puberty, because apparently everyone else fucking couldn't. And then
Do you want Coke in yours?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And then shenanigans ensue. By shenanigans, I mean there's a literal one of the kids decided, hey, how about we make a child?
Yeah, I remember when I was telling one of my friends over Discord that I was watching Darling in the Franxx, and I just told her, yeah, I just got to the teen pregnancy arc, and she was like, wait, what?
Oh, had she not seen it before?
No, and she just knew it as Trigger's L.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot to mention this. This was co-produced by Trigger and A1 Studios.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I am a huge fan of Trigger. I mean, Hannah, the best thing that Hannah has ever shown me in an anime context is definitely Promare.
Yeah,
which is
Promare
probably
is like one of the only things I've ever shown these guys for club that they've put in S tier.
And it absolutely deserves it. And it is probably Trigger's magnum opus, if I'm being honest. It's probably either that or Kill la Kill. But I think Promare is better.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the fact that Trigger worked on this, because I've seen plenty of Trigger stuff, breaks my fucking brain. Because, like, what were they thinking?
But as far as I understand it, and it's been at least 5-6 years before I knew this lore, because I was one of the people who like, oh, this is an interesting show. This is like Evangelion, except not that. It became more like Evangelion as the show went on.
Yeah, this is Evangelion if that scene from the movie of Shinji jacking off onto Asuko was the entire show.
Yeah. And so it was a. How am I gonna put this? I'm really fucking thinking how to put this. My train of thought left the station. What we were on about? Evangelion.
Yeah, just like when you picked Darling in the Franxx for us. Fucking moron, bitch.
So even though it is like kind of like Evangelion in that way, the fucking jacking off scene, it was supposed to be. I think it was like one of the first anime where Shinzo Abe was like, you need to have it.
We need to make weebs fuck.
Yeah, we need to have weebs procreate, so we need to have their media show that it's good to do this.
Gonna keep it real with you, former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. This is not going to solve the declining birth rate.
No. And the funny thing about Trigger is Trigger kind of jumped about episode 14, so A1 had to carry the from 14 to 28. Which 26, 27? No, I don't know. There's a certain amount of episodes that I kind of just stopped caring about.
Yeah, I think I just tuned out, like,
Yeah,
probably not even halfway through.
So,
I mean, when Trigger's like, hey, yo, we're not gonna fucking do this anymore.
The
A1, have fun.
Kill la Kill isn't gonna keep on your fan service.
I mean, Trigger kept their name on. I'm not saying this is bad. Their name is in the credits till the very end.
Yeah, because they produced over half of the show. They helped produce over half the show.
Okay, I thought it was less than that. So.
Yeah, it turns out to be over half because I did some research on that because I kind of wanted to figure it out, and not that I want to do that for the podcast.
Yeah.
And so as you guys have heard, everyone hates me for it.
Well,
and the reason why I picked this show is the funniest bit. This is right before we're going to Anime Magic, and Matt Shipman was a guest there, and
Who was he?
he was Hero. He was the main
Oh,
character.
No shit.
Yeah.
I mean, let me just say real quick. Did you get a chance to meet him?
I wish I did. I think what we were doing, other than me trying to, like, because I was being, let's be honest, I was being drugged around by Hannah to go throughout the vendors hall like 58 times. Not drugged. I liked hanging out there. Let's be honest, but it was I didn't get to go over there, and every time that I was over there, check out the people who were by them. The only people who I saw,
the autographs.
Yeah, and the autographs, and like across the way from the autographs, like a tattoo guy and some stuff like that.
Which he made some good tattoos. I had a friend who got a Gundam tattoo done. Looked fucking kino.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe I can get a tattoo. Oh, I don't think my parents will like me coming back with a tattoo though.
just real weekend behavior.
Yeah, but every time I go over there, I try to take a peek at Shipman's booth, and it was always empty.
Yeah.
Except for the last day, right before our last panel that we had to go to and host, he was there doing autographs, but that line was like a mile long, and there was no way in hell I was waiting for that one.
Well,
and I'm pretty sure most of the people that would want Matt Shipman's autograph are the people that like that skateboarding anime.
Bro,
that has a huge fan base apparently.
So I'll say this: I'm not here to drag anyone who like worked on the show. Like the creatives, they did the job that was asked of them. The voice actors turned in good performances.
Yeah, they did.
Honestly,
no one phoned it in.
Yeah, no one phoned it in. Like, they were really going hard for it. It's just, the material is so bad. I just have to say, like, look, I know that you did a troll pick, and it's fine. It's fine. It's just...
No matter how many times you say that, I don't believe you.
It's not what you want. I don't... Like, look, I had a shitty day at the golf course, okay? And I don't want to come back from duffing my whole back nine, coming back and watching a giant anime waifu like do space god shit.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the single-celled organisms you saw in Zing that put Nagisa in C tier, Komi in D tier, but put 02 in fucking S tier.
Yeah, that was that's what that was in reference to. Yeah, single cell organisms. That's gonna be a new term that we're gonna use for that. I have to say that before we rip into the show too much, and we are going to rip into it, I will say there were a couple things that saved it from D tier for me. One of them was episode 13, which is kind of like the turning point.
Yeah, it was the 02 backstory, I believe.
Yeah, that was a good episode. That was a legitimately, like, it made me care about the characters. It was well acted, very well animated. In fact, all of the series is very well acted and animated.
Yeah, I think that episode was like an A1 lead type of production.
Okay. I don't really have many opinions about A1. I know they work on a lot of different shows.
I know A1 is very good at doing like all the emotional stuff, and the action is very quick and to the point.
Okay.
So and then you can tell that with the action heavy episodes, Trigger took the main lead on that because Trigger knows how to do combat scenes.
Yeah, I kind of gauged that from the end of that one, or the end of the series, really. And we'll talk about the end of the series.
Oh boy.
Fucking shit. So
No, I hate to keep going back to things because I feel like this episode is already long enough and we haven't even finished everything we want to talk about, but I like to...
No, we're fine.
A good thing I wasn't able to go to Zing because I probably would have actually started fighting the crowd at Waifu Wars. Like, I probably would have got us kicked out for, like, actually starting a fight. Like, yeah. I probably would have just started asking people how it feels to just have a little pea in their head. Asking if they were proud of that.
Do you
if
know...
they're proud of their fucking picks.
Okay,
Having your brain just roll around in your skull.
Can I tell you, you're gonna love this about the people who put 0, because it was 2 of them. It was a couple that came up, and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm doing like I'm kind of doing like DJ type thing, like, "Hey man, come on up, tell us what your name." That was another thing I did. I asked people's names, like, "Hey, let's give it up for let's give it up for Julie here," and
Mike and Lisa.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just call them Mike and Lisa. And because it was a couple that came up, and I'm like, "Okay, what do you want to do for your waifu pick, or whatever I asked, and the girl was like, well, I will put 02 in S tier. And I looked at her and I'm like, and the boyfriend is just looking at me all doe-eyed and everything, like, she's my girl's favorite. I'm like, all right, Uncle Festus. I'm like, and I'm sure that when they got done fucking up my waifu wars panel, they went back to their fucking Bondo truck and made love all night.
they got the old 83 square body with like 8
up on blocks.
It's more Bondo than actual car at this point.
Yeah. Had fucking George Strait playing out of the drive-through speaker box radio.
They got the old CB that barely works because the antenna's cut in half.
Yeah. Again, we're just having fun. We're sure you're fine people and everything. It's just like, I fucking hated that show so much. So to get back to the other story, so I had a shitty round of golf, and what is the first thing I see when I get back from the golf course? 02, every degenerate's favorite fucking waifu turning into a goddamn giant monster.
Giant robot in a wedding gown. A metallic wedding gown. Did I mention that part of this show is an allegory for growing up?
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think you could have done something, like, really interesting with this concept, because a lot of mech protagonists skew young, so it's kind of like you could have done something that would have been interesting in that direction. It's just they didn't. I had to watch a teen marriage. I had to watch a teen pregnancy.
You gotta watch a teen make a baby and then the FBI raid the marriage. That's what
they
did.
Yeah. Like
they didn't make her unpregnant. They just stopped the wedding they were doing.
They stopped the wedding and reset her memories to before anything like that happened.
They just made her forget she was pregnant.
That's the thing that kills me. The writing in the show is so bad that they, like, wipe her memory, but it's like,
the baby's still there.
You didn't wipe the pregnancy, you dipshits. It's like, you either have her be pregnant or not. You don't. It's like, one of these days, she's gonna go to the bathroom and have a piss. It's like, oh, damn, this is a big kid. Hey, what the fuck? Why is my kidney stone talking?
Well, no, I mean, they kind of broached that with her being, having all, like, the common signs of pregnancy, like morning sickness and shit.
For no reason.
Yeah. I mean, I got it, but when she started throwing up, I was already just, like, slamming my head into the wall. It's like, God left me unfinished. So, yeah. God. Darling in the Franxx, D tier. And the only thing saving it from D tier are
from F tier, apparently.
Or from F tier, yeah, I'm sorry. Are the things that I mentioned. Like, episode 13, that showed me that the show could have been something.
Yeah,
they could have.
Let me speak on that real quick.
Sure.
Because the first time I watched this, because the concept was said to me on a forum, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll watch this as it comes out. Watching it as it comes out, like, the first arc is like, hey, okay, sure, and then, like, the middle arc where everyone's getting their backstories, that was my favorite part. Like, oh, getting all these character information, and then we get to the episodes where 02 becomes the giant robot waifu, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
What we doing, bro?
What are we doing? I'm like, please, dear God, don't have this be like an actual Gundam series where there's like 30 plus episodes that continue being on like this for 20 of them.
So, if I can kind of counter that, I did like some of the character backstory episodes. I thought some of those were actually pretty good.
My favorite was Mitsuri's.
Yeah, Mitsuri's was good. I liked, some of the other ones were actually pretty okay. It's just the characters it never amounts to anything. Like, they never become like.
Well, I mean, some of them amount to something. Like, Mitsuri's amounts to him not being an arrogant asshole all the time now. And then, was it
What did you think of Ichigo's? Yeah, that was kind of one of the...
That was kind of one of like, oh, she really likes the main character, but we all know she ain't gonna go with him.
I will say that I looked up later...
Oh, you're like a sister to me. Oh, there it is.
I will say I looked up, and this is something that kind of bothered me, is that when the episode... Do you remember the episode where Ichigo yells at 02?
Yes.
I remember reading that the Japanese voice actress got, like, a pile of death threats.
Yes,
from Japanese fans. I'm like...
Guys, come on.
You motherfuckers. Like, first
This
of
is
all...
why we can't have Haruhi.
First of all, don't fucking send death threats. You're a child if you do that.
Literally just doing her job as an actor.
And two, you're doing this over Darling in the fucking Franxx?
Apparently it was actually pretty good in Japan. Like, episodically, it was like pretty good when it was like as it was coming out. It's just that, and over here in the West, it's just that once you hit like some very weird off-color shit, you're like, what in the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
That's when we kind of like turn down, like, what? Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
But in Japan, they're like, oh, cool, she's a giant robot now.
Yeah, and I was not impressed.
That makes me hornier.
Oh,
and I was not impressed. Yeah. So, what more is there to say? D tier. Absolute D tier.
I was trying to get to Zorome. Zorome's backstory episode kind of revealed that the adults just turned into magma to feed energy into the plantations to keep the child soldiers alive. That was a thing.
I mean...
I know you guys checked out for that, but that was the entire point of that episode. Also, he met his mom and didn't know that was actually his mom.
That would have been something, because, that's like the plot of Logan's Run, basically. Like one of the classic science fiction movies.
Yeah, and actually, that's the part that actually kind of pissed me off about Darling in the Franxx. It had its own thing going pretty good, but then I guess the guy just wanted to reference every sci-fi movie he's ever fucking seen, including Evangelion.
Yeah.
And he just made, like, the last half of the series that entire shit, and then it just fucking spiraled.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what more is there to say? D-tier.
D-tier. It really was a good segment in Angst and Regret, though.
It was. I'm glad I added it, and I'm glad that you guys accepted it.
Yeah, that Angst and Regret panel was kind of funny because we had three people, but just kind of two separate animes that were on that list.
One, I felt bad about bashing, that being Howl's Moving Castle. Darling in the Franxx, I had no angst and no regret about.
Girl, you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah. I mean.
No, these two didn't. I did.
Yeah, you did, because you watched. I am so surprised that you watched this week by week. I would have been tuned out by episode 4.
Week by week, it was actually good. It actually was suspenseful. Watching it all in one shot made you want to kill yourself.
No, I think I would have been tuned out watching it week by week. It's the same thing with, like, Akame ga Kill. If I had watched that week by week, I would have been tuned out by episode 4. I wouldn't have come back to it. So, before we move on to the piece de resistance of tonight, which is the Nijigasaki OVA, let's talk real quickly about a show that was my pick, that was sort of in between Samurai 7 and Darling in the Franxx. Blood Blockade Battlefront.
And that was a very good show.
I really like that show. That I wish I had saved. If I had known more about what it was about, I would have saved it for like Halloween, because it really feels a lot like I kind of compared it to Chainsaw Man meets like Dorohedoro.
Yeah.
Or even Soul Eater, if you really wanted to.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of Dorohedoro and Soul Eater.
Yeah. And I really, like, the concept's really cool. I love all the characters, like Zap and Leonardo. And
basically the plot of this show is that New York City just suddenly gets this weird anomaly where just aliens and mutants show up.
Yeah, vampires.
Yeah, just all sorts of different magical.
Yeah, it's just all, basically New York City is just quarantined from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And this weird shit happens there now.
The funny thing is they had the center of the whole be Ground Zero when I looked it up for the manga, which
you're
Oh,
shitting me.
no, I'm not. I am not shitting you. It's Ground Zero.
Is this whole anime just a 9/11 metaphor?
Oh God, it might be. It might be.
So I want to say real quick, I loved all the characters. Hannah probably had the best description. I'm trying to say this. Magranov, the mushroom alien.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? That was probably
that's the best episode. Is just little alien guy just wants to eat burgers, but he can't because alien discrimination exists.
Hannah.
Like the burger brand doesn't want to be associated with the whole alien anomaly in New York, despite them being like they're like a nationally known chain that just happened to have a restaurant in that city, but alien racism still exists.
So let me say, Hannah had the best description for that
trying
episode.
to explain space racism to Americans. What if alien can't get burger?
Yeah.
And then New Yorkers being New Yorkers by beating the absolute shit out of it for the toxin that the alien produced that made people forget things.
I will say it was interesting that the show set itself in New York instead of a place like, I don't know, Tokyo or Kyoto or something.
I'm actually kind of thankful for that because I'm getting way. I mean, I get it. Japan's gonna set shit in Tokyo, but like, including New York. I mean, other than that Ground Zero bit for the fucking hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Damn, that plane hit hard.
Oh God.
I mean, I am glad I finally watched Blood Blockade Battlefront because I've had that ending song on my playlist for like years now.
Yeah, the music in it is fantastic.
Sugar Song and Bitter Step by Unison Square Garden.
Yeah. Hey, Square Garden.
Yeah.
Another New York reference. But yeah, it had been on my watch list for a long time. I just had never gotten around to watching it. Like, I watched the first 2 episodes, like, when it started to come out. This is way back in, like, 2015 is when it started. So, and I really dug the concept. It's just, kind of life got away from me, and it's like, didn't really come back to the show until I saw it for sale at whatever convention. What convention did I buy that at? I think I bought it either at Midwest this year. I may have bought it at like Amkey or maybe even CAD. I'm not exactly sure. But first opportunity I got, I wanted to show it to my friends here. And so when I did, I had a lot of fun. The characters were great. The setting was a lot of fun. I love that one of the characters is named Zap because I kept thinking of Zap Brannigan. yeah. Because
just take him and just dub all his lines over it.
Yeah. Which, again, Zap Brannigan should have been voiced by Phil Hartman, but
life happened.
Yeah.
Death happened.
Yeah, death happened. Rip King, we miss you, Phil Hartman. But in any case, Blood Blockade Battlefront, very good choice, I think, on my part. Great characters, great setting. Creature design was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I felt bad for that girl who kept getting her diner fucked up. So yeah, any additional thoughts on Blood Blockade? I mean,
very underrated show.
Yeah.
We should really watch season 2 sometime.
Yeah, I would love to watch season 2. I didn't even know there was a season 2 until we watched the first. Because what I was thinking was that this was like a seasonal kind of like anime that came out in 2015, and just kind of it like the story was repeated over and over and over again throughout the 2010s, throughout all of anime. Like a show that is actually secretly pretty good, but doesn't make the numbers and just
gets buried by the big show that came out that season.
Yeah, like Grimgar. You remember Grimgar, right?
Yeah, show that deserves a season 2. But...
Yeah. Do you know what year Grimgar came out?
What?
The same year that My Hero Academia came out.
Oh.
So yeah, it stood no chance. Even though I loved Grimgar, and I really like Blood Blockade Battlefront too. Which is why I would give it a extremely high A tier.
Same here.
Yeah, I gave it S tier because of how the ending went. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, let's just lower that to A tier real quick.
We'll have to see how this. We'll have to see the second season just to see.
And when I was looking up the show and stuff, that whole black and white, those two characters, they don't exist in the manga. That whole arc was just exclusive to the anime. It's like made me wonder if they even had a season 2 in consideration.
Yeah, I mean that's always possible. I mean, I don't think Grimgar had a second season in consideration. I wish they had, because it's actually one of the few worthwhile isekais. I mean, you watched Grimgar with us, right?
Yep. That was a really good show. This is coming from the resident isekai fan in the room.
And it was gone in basically a season.
How long have we been recording? I just want to check the time.
Hour 45.
Okay.
We still got time to talk about the pick that Hannah was actually able to have us watch tonight, which was a lot of fun.
Love Live Nijigasaki OVA.
So, real quick, in the interest of making this obviously a standalone podcast for the start of season 2, I think real quick we should...
Now that we're caught up on every single Love Live animated thing that's come out so far, I mean, besides Genjitsu no Yohane, Yohane of the Perhelion, but
we will watch that.
Yeah, that hasn't fully completed yet, so we will watch it once it's fully aired.
You bet your ass we're gonna watch it, because...
Yeah, I think it's only on episode 8 right now, when it should be like a 12 or 13 episode show, so once it has completed airing, we will watch it, but we're not including it on our list right now.
Hey, guess what? Our best girl got the spin-off.
Yeah.
Yoshiko... Oh, wait, your best girl...
Yeah, my best girl's Hanamaru, but Hanamaru is still like the secondary main character of it.
Yeah. And, of course, it's...
If I speak...
Hey, you like Hanamaru.
Yes, I'm just saying the last...
What's your favorite of Aqua?
Of Aqua? Oh, boy.
Inquiring minds need to know. Mine is Yoshiko, by the way. Because I kind of relate to her kind of weirdo energy. Yeah. But she's also a really good character. And let's be honest, the first year's kind of carried Sunshine, if I'm being honest.
Hanamaru is my favorite, mostly just because she's so adorable.
She is very adorable.
I think mine was Ruby, just because I kind of understand how it is to be the reserved younger sibling.
Okay, so we all like the first years.
And didn't you also like Daya because you relate to being the older one, too?
The curse of being a middle child, yes.
Well, I mean, I wish there was more to say about Daya. I mean, to be fair, there's an arc in Love Live Sunshine where it's like Ruby and Daya. Ruby carried that arc. Yeah. But anyway, in the interest of making this standalone, before we talk about the Nijigasaki OVA, I think we should go real quick through our thoughts on the various Love Live shows and just give our quick thoughts about how we feel. So Love Live School Idol Project.
I mean, School Idol Project was the only series that existed at the time I got into Love Live all those years ago, so it's still very nostalgic to me. I think it might just be the nostalgia talking, but Muse will always be number 1 to me.
Okay, so from someone who didn't, who only discovered Love Live, or started watching Love Live a year and a half ago, I will say that School Idol Project probably is the best series to me, and the reason for that is I think it has the best band. Like, the actual group, Muse, really, really carries that show. Like, all the characters, even the weak ones character-wise, still serve a purpose in the band, and they all sort of play off of each other well. Even though Muse, I think, has a lot of great characters, like Nico, Hanyo, Reen, Maki, all these different characters. I think if you are into idols, I mean, obviously, if you're into idols, I assume you have watched Love Live School Idol Project, but I would say its best attribute as a show is its band, is like the musical component, and every single episode does something to further the actual musical angle of what this show is supposed to
and
be
the
about.
fact that like Muse, like in real life, the real group basically started at nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Love Live just as a series started with them. Like if they didn't succeed, then we wouldn't have had Aqua or Niji or Leela.
Absolutely. And real quick, when we finish these types of segments, I think we should each give our best girls. Real quick, Nico.
And if you know me, you know Nico is.
Nozomi.
Fair enough. Fair.
The reason I like Nozomi, it used to be like that. It used to be like every guy's entering the love life is just because big tits, the titties. But it actually is because she has no job and it is still part of the crew.
She got no job, get no pay.
No, she's getting the pay. She's just sitting there not doing shit.
She's getting the
She
pay.
lives in an apartment by herself, but still does nothing.
Hey, you don't know how much that shrine pays her.
Hey, you getting the pay, but no job, aka that's called WELF. I can't spell. Welfare.
WWE.
Da, 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 da.
I mean, she works at the shrine. How much money does she make at the shrine, though?
She's not a Shriner, though.
She's a shrine maiden. Excuse
Shrine.
you.
Does she get one of those little ass cars, though? But in any case, so moving on, Love Live Sunshine. For me, I think that show's best attribute is its story, because it doesn't just focus on, like, because in School Idol Project, it's basically a Save the Rec Center story where Honoka has to come in and, like, save the school from being bulldozed.
And then once the school actually gets saved, it just becomes like, we really liked the process of entering this contest. We want to do it again.
Yeah. In Sunshine, I think the story is.
The story is the same thing, but they fail this time.
Yeah, they fail, and that's not the only reason that I like it. It's also because it's like you get to see the characters kind of grow more. Like, it isn't just like an episode-long arc. Like, you know, Ruby's got stuff. Yo's got stuff.
Daya tried to have something.
Yeah, Daya. Like, Chica trying to come into her own as a band leader. And I will say that, like, in the sort of Honoka versus Chica sort of arguments, I will say Chica is probably the better band leader, but I get why Honoka is so beloved.
Yeah, in my
But
opinion.
one of them's literally God.
In my opinion, I think Chica's probably the better written protagonist, but Honoka just makes me more happy.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. So yeah, Love Live Sunshine has a lot going for it in sort of the story department. Where I think it's lacking is its characters, because there are great characters in Love Live Sunshine. It's just so many of the group are lacking in any sort of substance.
Yeah. In thing that kind of makes Aqua probably like one of my least favorites of the main groups is, like, first of all, characters don't really interact that much outside of their year groups. Like, the third years are just their own separate thing for most of it. Like, Daya, Mari, and Kanan, just, they kind of only interact with each other for most of it.
Yeah.
The only time they ever interact is when they're forced inside the shrine.
Or, like, the whole Daya and Ruby arc.
Yeah.
Like, and
unless they're related, they don't get to talk.
Yeah, and that's not even like a year thing. That's literally just Daya and Ruby are sisters. So
yeah, that's what I hate. One of the things I hate about the Love Live Sunshine movie is that, like, basically one of like the three plots they sandwich together for that movie is that they have to cope with the 30 years graduating and leaving and realizing they have to do things on their own because apparently Mari, Kanan, and Daya were super important to the group.
Which I couldn't tell you a single thing about Kanan in Love Live Sunshine. I literally can't.
I mean, I mean, thinking about it, I guess she is one of the people who, like, kind of made sure that she could actually grow into her own a little bit, but she was just she got so nobodied by the end of the series that no one really remembers it.
The only third year I thought was ever worth even a little bit was Mari.
Oh yeah, the flying van.
And Mari is just kind of kooky. Like she doesn't really have that much of a character.
Mari is the reason why I hate the English stuff in
it's
anime.
Pretty
joke.
Shiny. I can see this. Hey, that's what you get for Darling in the Franxx, bub.
No, it's not. We watched it before.
Anyway, back to what I was saying about the movie. Is that they had to cope with the 30 years leaving, but at the end of the Love Live Sunshine movie, they get that song where it's the 6 of them performing on their own, and then they get to the second verse of the song, and then it has the 30 years singing.
Yeah.
So that basically defeated the. I get they probably had to do that so that, like, when they performed the song at their live shows, that they could have all of them on stage and stuff, and it was probably supposed to kind of symbolize that 30 years will always be with them in spirit. But the thing is that just in the actual plot of the show, I feel like that defeats the entire purpose.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like the fact that they're still singing with the group, wearing the group outfits, feels like, oh, they didn't move on at all.
I think it really is supposed to be in spirit, though, because I think the way they had it portrayed was, they weren't on a stage really, until like right before the credits, but the 30 years were just like they're in spirit, and yeah, you're probably right. Where it's like they probably had to have it just so they weren't just weren't standing there or off to the side for no reason for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and this is completely unrelated to the Love Live Sunshine movie, but still kind of Love Live related. So I mean, for the Liela's MTV Unplugged, when there's still first gen Liela, so it was just the 5 of them on stage, but they performed that one song where it was just Kanan, Chisato, Sumire, and Kuku. So Ren's voice actor was just singing on stage, just doing the woo parts of the song.
Oh. So, real quick, to finish off Love Live Sunshine, I would give that show a B tier. It has some characters that I really, really love. It has a story I think is good. It's just, it falls short in quite a few, and
it falls short at the goal, too.
Yeah. So, Hannah...
And in real life.
Yeah. So, Hannah, if you would like to give your rating?
In Love Live Sunshine is lower than I'd put School Idol Project.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say this would probably be a B tier for me, too.
Actually, this is going to be a very controversial opinion because I know so many people that are Aqua stans, but Love Live Sunshine actually was my least favorite Love Live until Love Live Superstar Season 2 came out.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll talk about the comparisons here in a second. But real quick, let's talk about an unambiguously great Love Live show, Nijigasaki. If I can really let me just kick this off with my thoughts about Nijigasaki. I think that Nijigasaki, the thing that it offers to anyone who watches it is a wide diversity of characters. So,
yeah, so many characters could be best girl.
Yes.
I can understand every character being somebody's best girl.
Except Ayumu.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second. But, let's say your favorite character... let's say that you like the sporty girls.
You got I.
Yeah, you have I. If you like Baby, you have Rina. If you liked Gremlin Girl, like Nico, you have Kasamine in Nijigasaki. There's just a girl for everyone. And then there are, kind of newer characters that we haven't really seen before. You have... And they all have sort of interesting backstories, like Kanata, who's a scholarship student who works hard for her sister, but she's really eepy all the time.
They actually give a canonical reason for her being sleepy, that she works after school and stays up all night studying because she's a scholarship student at a rich kid's school.
Yeah. And
that school that looks like the Pentagon.
Yeah. And they have that whole episode with her sister where her sister just shows up at her school and she sees Kanata falling asleep on everyone and just gets horrified when everybody says, yeah, this is normal for her.
Yeah, and you also have characters who aren't exclusively from Japan. Like, I think it does national
Yeah,
diversity well.
Yeah,
Like,
Emma, who's full-blooded Swiss.
yeah, Italian Swiss, because
Yeah.
I think that
She says "Buono."
yeah. You have Mia, who's from America and is
Yeah.
basically Avril Lavigne, but
Yeah, she's a 14-year-old New Yorker who's voiced by an Australian.
yeah. And then you have one of my favorite characters, Lanzu, who is from China.
It's from Hong Kong, but speaks Mandarin mostly for some reason.
Yeah.
When she's supposed to be speaking Cantonese.
And here's the thing. There's been some stuff written about Love Live's Chinese representation. You won't really find that with Lanzu. I think Lanzu is a really well-written character. She never tries to ruin the Steven's fucking with Casamine over there.
She's trying to dive in my drink.
Yeah. You don't really find that with Lanzu. Lanzu isn't like a character that's out to destroy the.
At least not in the anime.
Yeah. I know in the other media it's kind of a different story, but in the anime she's a character who actually has a lot of respect for the crew.
Loves the Nijigasaki Idol Club. She just thinks she can do better on her own.
Yeah, and then when she can't, she's like, fuck it, I'll join you. And then she makes best friends with everyone there, which is great to see. So yeah, I think if you like certain characters from other Love Live shows, you will find equal.
You'll find a favorite in this one.
Yeah, you'll find a favorite, and even if you didn't like any of the characters in the other Love Live show, I don't know how you made it this far to Nijigasaki, but
wait, did we already do Aqua Best Girl sharing? 'Cause I'm already a few drinks in, so.
I mean, I said, yeah, we did.
Yeah,
I
we
said
did.
Yoshiko.
So, Nijigasaki Best Girls, everybody.
Okay.
Oh God.
See, this is why it's hard, because it's like there's 14 of them.
13 if you count you as an idol.
I do count you.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't.
Because that's my best girl.
Oh, okay, so that's actually a good place to start. So, Steven,
Yeah,
yours.
best girl is you because she is you for real.
She's also the manager type, which means because honestly, whenever I get on stage, I get really nervous. But being in the background, just being on the music guy, if I don't have to do that shit, just don't have to be seen. There we go. That's what I like to do.
So, if I can say a quick word about you, I know that Nijigasaki started as.
Yeah, what you got against me? Come on.
No, I'm saying something good. You don't have to be combative. Anyway,
The joke is that you're saying something about you, as in you're talking to me, and
boy, if you don't. Anyway, so what I like about you. God damn it, we're not getting anywhere here.
You're getting into eye level territory.
That would be a good pun for I to make, but in any case,
it is like idol.
Yeah. That pun fucking knocked the wind
Oh
out of me.
God, it hurt.
But with you, it would have been so easy to just write, because it's the POV character from when you play like these games, like the Nijigasaki games.
Yeah.
That's just your POV character. It would have been so easy to just write them out. But no, they actually took the time and made you a likable character who kind of serves the same role as, from what I understand, how she is, or how the POV character in the games is. Like, takes you through, like the school idol club, you make friends with, the different idols and everything.
You almost get Yandere.
Yeah, you almost get Yandere from Mayumu, and so I really appreciate that they took the time to actually, not just write that character out, just outright, and said, okay, we have an opportunity here to make a new character. And from what I understand, you is actually a pretty popular character amongst the fans of Love. I mean, you like her. My girlfriend likes her a lot, has a keychain of her. I saw on the Love Live subreddit, she's actually rated pretty popularly. I mean, it's been a big hit, so that's good to see. So
Kanata's my best girl just because I relate to Little Sleepy.
A little?
Eepy.
Yeah. Like, the entire Quartz subunit is comprised of all my best girls.
It's Kanata.
Emma, Kasumi, and Rina.
I mean,
Okay.
honestly, me too. I mean, me too.
That's your favorite sub-unit?
Yes.
I also really love Lanzu and Mia and Shizuku.
So, for me...
He wants the Chioriko.
Yeah, nope. I mean, Shioriko's actually kind of bottom of my ranking just because I forget she exists.
Well...
Which, except for tonight we just watched the Nijigasaki OVA, which actually had a lot of Shioriko focus, which is definitely going to make me remember Shioriko exists.
So...
Yeah,
Real
your best girls.
My best girl, at the top of my list, definitely Rina. I absolutely love Rina. Like, cause she's, like, baby, but she's also, like, one of the most important members of the group because she does all the tech stuff.
I mean, funny story, but pretty much every time I think of Rina, I just remember back years ago when Teletubbies was popular and people thought Tinky Winky was gay. And the BBC had to put out a statement saying that Tinky Winky is simply a sweet technological baby. That's just what I think of when I see Rina. Sweet technological baby.
I mean, yeah, that actually kind of fits.
Yeah, I mean, she's baby, but she's so important to the group. And people, and she has, so she has problems, like, expressing, like, not expressing emotion physically, like on her face.
It's like the popular fan theory is that Rina has autism.
Yeah, I've heard that.
She can't really show her emotions on her face.
Yeah, not very well at this point. But they make like a board for her to like.
She made the board for herself.
Oh right, but you know, and it's good to see that she's accepted as a member of the group. Like no one really questions her ability to like. You know, sing. She's a great singer, by the way.
It's like, I mean, like the whole thing about her showing expressions, it's like that whole conflict is just shown as just something she personally struggles with, but just nobody outside, like nobody besides her ever really said anything about it.
She's never pressured to like do that. She just wants to do it herself, and she'll get there in the end. I'm sure she will. She's Rina.
I also love Rina and I's dynamic.
Yeah.
The extrovert adopting the introvert.
Yeah. She wears short skirt.
I wear a t-shirt.
She's on the.
She's cheer captain, and I'm on the
sit. That's what I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking of with Rina and I. They have a really good. Friendship, which actually makes me like I even more. I mean, I like I already.
But her puns.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
something cute about them is that their voice actresses are just such good friends that they actually formed their own band outside of the group.
I bet it rocks.
Yeah, it's called Nacheri, which is kind of just their first names combined.
Oh, okay.
Like Natsumi and Chiemi.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's awesome. Close second, though, would probably be... Oh, if I'm being honest, either Lanzu or Mia. I love both of them so much. Lanzu, just of how driven she is.
Every Rebirth song slaps.
Yeah, including the one in the OVA tonight. And also, who the fuck is Madonna, and why does she think she can ever compete with the star power of Lanzu Zhang?
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's my best girl, Rina. So let's move on to, real quick, biggest disappointment of Love Live. Love Live Superstar started off amazingly.
That first episode is probably best first episode of Love Live.
And the first season is so good because
it probably has nonfiction. It's probably one of the best songs ever. That's that one where Sumire raps.
Yeah. And all the songs are great. The characters are written very well. They have great arcs. I can follow all the characters. It was the first time in a Love Live show where I could determine everyone's voice. Distinctively, I could determine everyone's voice. Then season 2 came along, and...
Yeah, I mean, the thing that just tanks the show for me is that it treats Kanon as the only character that can do anything, which... I know I've ranted about this multiple times on this podcast. I think we had one episode, or most of the podcast episode was just me ranting about season 2.
So, I'll say real quick. Just because we rant about Kanon's involvement in season 2 of Love Live Superstar does not mean that Kenan is a bad character. I think Kenan is actually probably the highlight of Love Live Superstar.
She is a very great character.
Yeah, the writers agree.
Her voice is amazing, which is really impressive because her voice actress was cast from open auditions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's amazing, but the writers should not throw in 4 new characters if they're only going to focus on one, pretty much.
So,
like, I hate the Natsumi, the episode where Natsumi finally joins the group, where the whole episode is about the new 4 first years finally, they go on a training camp to Hokkaido to finally try to do stuff on their own to get up to the second year's level.
And then Kanan parachutes and says, let me help you guys. You guys can't have plot without me.
Yeah, is that apparently Kanan's dad went on a trip to Hokkaido and just accidentally left his stuff at home, so they just sent Kanan out on her own to go deliver the stuff like an over 2-hour train ride away from home.
Yeah.
There, and just randomly just shows up to where the first years are staying at, which I don't know if they even gave Kanan the address or anything.
No, I couldn't have.
Yeah, she just showed up there and just talked to Natsumi through her problem.
Yeah, and I'll say this: it was a damn shame because there were some of the new arrivals into this group that I really like
Shiki.
Shiki.
Yeah, I want more of Shiki.
Shiki's great. Kinako is great. May and Natsumi are kind of lacking, but I feel like they could have built them into really strong characters.
I mean, May kind of got an interesting part in that episode with Ren, where Ren got a video game addiction, and for some reason, May was the only one let in on it.
Yeah.
And
that was a weird little arc,
Shiki,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Shiki thought May was cheating on her.
So for Love Live Superstar, let's go. The positives. Great main.
Don't even get me started on Ween.
Yeah, positives. Great main character. Really good first season. Beautiful animation. Songs are slap. Negatives. All the stuff about writing falls apart in the second season, which is kind of the main linchpin. And the new characters don't really get any development. But
which kind of scares everyone for season 3 when we have Wing come in.
Yeah.
And then Baja Blast Miku.
That is apparently Natsumi's sister. I mean, one of the new first years, they got the least development. They throw in a sister for her.
Yeah, it's like the whole writer's room has gone to pot. But let's
out of all the characters to throw a sister, and everybody thought one of the new girls was going to be Kanan's sister.
Yeah.
And nope, there's create a sister for one of the characters they barely wrote anything for.
So, real quick, let's get ratings and best girls. So, what is your rating for Love Live Superstar?
Superstar, if we're going to combine the seasons, it averages out to like a very very low B, high C. If we're going to separate the seasons, season 1 is a B and season 2 is a C.
Okay, who's your best girl?
Best girl, just like the writers, Kanan.
Okay, fair enough. Hannah?
Yeah, I'd say season 1 I'd put in B, season 2 put in C. It's probably the most disappointing Love Live season for me so far. And favorite character is definitely Sumire.
Fair enough. So I would actually give the first season like an A tier, and I would give the second season a low C tier. So overall, Superstar averages out to a B tier for me. And my best girl, I would say, would be Kanan, with a very, very, very close second being Sumire, and a close third being Shiki. Shiki deserved better.
Yeah. And hopefully season 3 gives us more Shiki, but I'm not really getting my hopes up.
And there was a Shiki Nesso at Anime Magic.
Yeah, inside one of the Irashas.
Oh, yeah. There was a Shiki.
The Porsche.
There's the car that had Sumire on one door and Cuckoo on the other door.
Yeah, the Porsche 928, I think.
Sorry to the owner of that car. I almost committed to carjacking just to get the Shiki. But
boy, you know I would have stopped you immediately.
I just want the Shiki. I don't want the car. Which is funny. It's like, why did you rob this car? Hey man, I don't want the car. I just want the $40 plushie in it.
I want that plushie inside of it.
So
son.
So let's get to our actual anime roundup review of the Nijigasaki OVA called
Next Sky.
Yeah, I gotta say, so this was
the plot of it is Ayumu brings a girl from London.
Yeah, who wasn't one of the Spice Girls, but
yeah, it's like the whole thought that is Ayumu went on a trip to London because some girls reached out to her saying they wanted to form a school idol club at their little British school, but idols don't exist there, so the girls' club application got rejected. The thing is, Britain does have idols. You have the Spice Girls.
Right. It's like,
yeah.
Can we
get salt, pepper, and
Paprika.
Time.
Bruh, Salt and Pepper was over in America. Oh wait, you were making a funny.
I was making a funny.
I thought you were talking about Salt and Pepper. You know, like push it real good.
Yeah, those were American, the American Idols.
Oh yeah, before American Idol was American Idol.
Guess you could probably count One Direction as like the BTS of London.
Oh god, if we get those people in our comment section.
Oh, don't worry.
I'm gonna let you guys know don't talk to me about K-pop. You guys freak me out. I'm not gonna interact with you.
I will talk to you about
which actually something I found out today. Apparently, Love Live isn't the only thing they've made Terra Jumbo Nessos of. According to somebody in my Love Live Discord server, apparently they're making Terra Jumbo Nessos of the BTS guys.
Those things are gonna be defiled so fucking.
Yeah, I mean, I knew
the Sonic own a hole.
I knew BTS I knew BTS Nessos already existed because I always see them online and just I click on the listing for them thinking they're something else. But like, nope, it's just some K-pop boy.
Hannah, speaking of which, with pop stars getting, what do you think Terra Jumbos of Liam and Noel would look like?
Would the beer stains on them be artificial?
Oh,
or real?
if they made Nezos of Oasis, I would buy all of them.
And we would baptize them in Stella.
Yes, I would pour Stella on them. But in any case,
drink up, Liam.
Yeah. So for the
for next guy.
Yeah, for next guy, I'll say this. I've never been a big fan of Shioriko. This movie actually gave Shioriko a lot of good character to work with, and I thought they really improved that.
Yeah, I think
character.
they probably wanted to make up for the fact that they barely gave Shioriko anything in season 2.
Yeah, they do a lot of good stuff with Shioriko, and I never hated Shioriko. It's just she was always kind of at the bottom of my ranking, just because she doesn't have a bad voice at all. She has an amazing voice, and she definitely belongs in Rebirth. It's just I want like Shioriko to be as good a character as Lanzu and Mia to like round out Rebirth, and I think they're getting there with this OVA.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Shioriko for me was that apparently in the game, her original plot was just being the generic student council president character of Love Live, where like I'm the student council president now, and I don't want your idol club to exist, and then just eventually joins it. But I'm sick as fuck of that trope.
Oh,
wasn't that because Ayumu got very jealous that you weren't paying attention to her in the games?
Yeah. Also, that chapter of the game, like Ayumu quits the idol club because you as the player, because you as the player character is supposed to be Ayumu's childhood friend, that you aren't paying enough attention to her, so she quits out of rage, and then becomes friends with Shioriko.
So wait, Ayumu is toxic in the games as well?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So real quick, to anyone who wants to watch Nijigasaki, if you ever had to deal with like a toxic friend, that might set you off, like watching Ayumu. Just as kind of a heads up.
Especially when they do the sleep at the school thing.
Yeah, that's like, if you've had to deal with that kind of shit, that might kind of set you off. I mean, personally, I haven't, but I can
Personally, I have, and we're no longer friends.
Yeah, I can get how it could set some people off, so just kind of be wary of that. For me, Ayumu is my favorite character to clown on because she's so bad. Are you hooking, you hooked,
Kasumi to Lanzu's the whole game.
Yeah.
The plot of anime Shioriko, though, is that, like, her whole thing is that my sister was an idol and she didn't make it to Love Live, so now I'm not going to be an idol. And then just ends up joining anyway because her sister says, like, even though I didn't make it to Love Live, I liked being a school idol.
Yeah. Which isn't bad. I mean, it's just underdeveloped.
Yeah. Like, her whole episode is just kind of boring.
Yeah, but I think the OVA did a lot with her character, and considering it's only 30 minutes long, it's only about as long as, like, it's
about the same length as a normal episode.
Yeah.
Like a few minutes longer.
Yeah, and they did really a lot to, like, make Shioriko, like, a better character than she was in the show. I mean, at the expense of some of the other characters that we really look.
I don't think Emma really got more than, like, 3 lines.
Yeah. Rina got a little bit. That's the thing. Everyone kind of got a little bit. Like, Lanzu got some, mainly because she's...
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the OVA, they put in a Rebirth song, which is probably just to make up for the fact that they didn't get one in Season 2.
Yes,
like
the songs in this were fucking great.
Like, the 3 other subunits got their own episodes with their own songs in Season 2, but all Rebirth got was just them standing on stage.
Yeah, and Rebirth is my favorite subunit, so to see them get some good songs was, in, like, the anime was great. And also, fair is fair, Ayumu actually wasn't that bad in this. She wasn't really being that toxic.
Yeah, I was kind of half expecting her to go yandere for the British girl because the British girl was saying that she was great.
Yeah. So for this OVA, I would give it probably a high B tier. It's on the same level of quality as the rest of the Nijigasaki stuff. Like, I love Nijigasaki. I'm so excited to see that we're getting...
a movie trilogy?
Yeah, we're getting a trilogy with Nijigasaki. You know, yeah, I'm excited. Let's do it now. Let's do it today.
Yeah. Nijigasaki overall is my second favorite Love Live behind Muse School Idol Project.
Same here.
Yeah, my ranking is School Idol Project, Nijigasaki, Sunshine, and Superstar.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I'd say mine's probably the same thing. And then, yeah, I'd probably give this like a very high B tier.
Yeah.
Just because this was a theatrical release, the animation's obviously going to be a lot better.
Yeah, I wonder what they released it with, because it's like, you know, when you think about something being theatrically released,
like, you think it's like a full-length movie,
yeah,
not just like a half-hour-long anime
typically
episode.
Today, if you want to get someone into the theater, your thing has to be longer than like 90 minutes. And they maybe like it's kind of culturally different in Japan, where it's like you can get someone into the theater.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't really run it for as long as they would for a normal movie.
Yeah, I've also heard that in Japan that they've mastered the art of the 90-minute movie. So
which good for them.
Because in the United States, either it's like at or around in like an hour 10 or 2 hour plus. We can't really physically do the hour and a half movie anymore.
Back in the 80s.
Like Alien was
90 minutes.
90 minutes. But yeah, in Japan, they really like their 90-minute movies. So I'm pretty sure this is like one of three things shown.
Oh, like a triple feature that you would show like back in the 30s or something.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, I'm not against like long movies. I think a movie should be as long as you need to like tell your story. And the Nijigasaki OVA, they told its story in 30 minutes.
Yep.
I think that was perfectly fine.
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, when I was trying to find us, because I think it took me half as long to find a player.
It took as long to get a hold of the Nijigasaki OVA as it did to watch the Nijigasaki OVA.
And
you got region locked out of one of the websites.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, that was annoying. But some of the main complaints that I heard was there were English people were really happy that there was English in the OVA, which I have some questions. But they said, I wish Mia was able to speak English to people.
I mean, but she does, though.
She does, though. And the other one is that people were kind of... I mean, this might be the more American, because I saw this all on Reddit. It was all in English. So they were kind of disappointed that it was like 30 minutes. They probably wanted it to be like 45 minutes, at least. Which, I mean, okay for an OVA.
I mean, for that story, you're stretching it. I mean, if the story calls for it...
I mean, honestly, I think that OVA could have been 35 minutes at the very most.
Yeah,
They could have fleshed out like a little bit more, but not too much.
Yeah, I think it's about the perfect like length that you need for a story.
It's just that everyone else is looking for. No, it's too short. I wanted more Niji. I'm like, you guys are getting like 3 fucking movies.
Yeah, you're getting, which those movies are probably going to be in that like 80 to 100 minute range. Anyway.
Yeah, if it's Japan, it's gonna be if it's Japan, it's gonna be like 3 90-minute movies.
Yeah, because most anime movies like that are about 80 to 100 minutes.
Yeah,
but I mean,
kind of like Suzume was, right?
Yeah, Suzume wasn't even 2 hours, really.
Yeah. Speaking of 2 hours, we've been recording for like 2.5.
We've been going for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ, we have been. Okay.
So I guess this is the last thing. So I guess we'll be rusty again, and so for Niji, we all put in like B tier ish.
Yeah, the Niji OVA definitely a B tier.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hannah, thank you for showing us it. It was always great to revisit the characters.
It was a nice palate cleanser after Darling.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So I guess I'll go ahead and start doing some housekeeping. So you guys remember when I said I get that car started by the end of the summer? I'm a dirty fucking I'm a dirty fucking liar. Honestly, due to certain life events, mainly because I have Graham on the hospital, I was not able to touch the car as much as I wanted to. I just know that the carburetor is attached via nuts and bolts to the throttle linkage set, so I get to deal with that now. So I'll find a way to get that detached. If not, I'm working with a carburetor with an attached throttle cable and try to pry it apart that way. Because the reason why I'm capitalizing on this so much is because I need to have all 4 holes in there open and operable instead of just having the 2. And I guess I might just like throw a towel over the intake. I might do that. But if you guys want to donate to that project, I will definitely have it in the links below. I may need to update it until we've won what the hell's been going on since the last time I updated. That was almost October of last year. Oh boy.
So, I will say that all of us, including my girlfriend, we're going to go on a big golf trip tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
We didn't really get to talk about our golf stories that much, and frankly, I'm thankful for that. Hopefully your boy is going to break 100 tomorrow. More likely, he's going to drink a bunch of Caymans and vomit on the course tomorrow. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, then we're looking his ass to a party right afterward.
Yeah, so I'm using the golf course as a pre. I'll see how I'm doing at the turn. How about we say that?
Yeah. Pretty much.
But yeah. I guess that's all we have to say.
I'm not sure if you guys can find the recording. Whoever was that teacher for the music, If I didn't say the email clearly enough, and I will bookmark this in the description where we put the email. The email is offthebalcony21@gmail.com if you want to submit any of your if you want to submit any of the lyrics to help your boy out. So that would be fantastic.
And share any podcast episode ideas you have.
Yes.
Or any panel ideas.
Yes, very
or
correct.
Just any questions you have, please give us fan mail.
Yes.
Yes,
just talk to us. We will respond. We will respond to any engagement.
I get very happy when I see there are comments on the videos, which happens very rarely these days. So
taking a couple month hiatus will do that to us.
Yeah. So we will be, when you hear this, it should be early September, late
August, early September.
August, early September, first week, like we're around in there. But we really appreciate you guys sticking with us. You guys are great. I think we're gonna sign off because we have a big golf trip tomorrow.
And we have been recording for a long time.
Yeah, it's just been a lot to talk about. I've had a blast. Tomorrow I'm gonna have a blast. It's just life's good right now.
Yeah, it was just pray for Wade. Hopefully he doesn't hit like 3 trees.
You know what?
We'll get into that.
Bitch? You get fucking pray for Steven. They didn't get stuck in the sand trap. They has to throw the ball out with his bare hand.
The last time I was stuck in the sand trap, I lost my ball because it went into the fucking netherworld.
Me hitting the ball out of the bunker. Me going to the other bunker because I rocketed it.
Can you wrap this up? I have to pee.
Okay.
Well, then go.
Okay.
I want to wait for us to say bye.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We're going to sign off now, so let's go ahead and say our goodbyes.
Bye.
All right. Good night and good luck, everyone.
And stay frosty, everybody.